not trained to do that, and they were never needed to do that.
The Trump administration has argued sending troops was necessary to restore order. The U.S. Defense Secretary recently ordering the deployment to end for about half of the National Guard troops there. And we're just getting word the Marines are being sent home, a Pentagon spokesman calling them instrumental in restoring order. A second suspect in custody for the weekend shooting of an off-duty Border Patrol agent, wounded during an attempted robbery in New York City. Homeland Security officials say both suspects are in the U.S. illegally, and between them have at least 12 prior arrests. The FAA now investigating Friday's close call between an Air Force bomber and a Delta regional jet operated by SkyWest Airlines over North Dakota.
Traveling from Minneapolis, SkyWest Flight 3788 was on approach to Minot, North Dakota, when the pilot turned suddenly to avoid a nearby military aircraft.
Fox's Jonathan Seri.
The B-52 Stratofortress was flying from Minot Air Force Base nearby. The SkyWest pilot explained to passengers while the Air Force Base has radar, the small commercial airport they were flying into does not, which required the controller in the tower to monitor the skies visually.
Actor Malcolm Jamal Warner has died in what Costa Rican officials are calling an accidental drowning yesterday afternoon as he was swimming at a beach on Costa Rica's Caribbean coast. Jamal Warner, best known for playing teenage son Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. He was 54. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Get ready for rising heat. It's mostly cloudy and 84 degrees here in downtown Indy. Low tonight in the mid-60s. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Ryan Hedrick has what forecasters say you need to know and how to stay safe as temperatures climb.
On Tuesday, temperatures will reach 86, and by Wednesday and Thursday, temperatures will be in the low 90s.
Which could result in some heat index values around 100, so that'll feel really oppressive.
Jason Puma, forecaster at the National Weather Service, says symptoms like that can set in quickly, so if you feel weak, dizzy, or nauseous, get inside right away. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
More than 20 people are behind bars because they were part of a massive drug and money scheme. Those people all from Indy, Terre Haute, Columbus, Seymour, and even California and Arizona all distributed several drugs. One man from Indy was the main ringleader of the drug trafficking. He even had help from others who were laundering drug money through different states before it ended up in a bank account in Mexico, several bank accounts for that matter. A collision near an Indianapolis off-ramp Monday has left one person dead.
Preliminarily, it's believed that the red sedan was exiting the I-70 off-ramp and was turning left to go northbound onto North Post Road when that vehicle was struck by the silver truck, which was traveling southbound.
IMPD officer Drew Brown says the woman in the car died at the scene. The man driving the pickup was taken to the hospital, but he's expected to be okay. A concert event returns to Indianapolis to honor Hoosier heroes. Johnette Cruz reports.
Indianapolis is set to celebrate its everyday heroes this fall. The Indy Public Safety Foundation today unveiled exciting plans for its frontline fundraiser. On Friday, October 10th at the Everwise Amphitheater, the community is invited to honor police, firefighters, EMTs, and all first responders. The evening kicks off with a tactical tailgate offering a unique family-friendly peek into the world of public safety. Then get ready for a night of classic rock with live performances from legendary bands Kansas and Jefferson Starship. Tickets go on sale this Friday, July 25th at 10 a.m. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Hammer and Nigel here for our guy, Mark Deedle. Mark Deedle is the only real estate expert that we trust on the Hammer and Nigel show. And it's because he's helping Hoosiers every day. Like Kevin and Angela in Greenwood. The big home was too much, and it was time for Dad to move into a maintenance-free community. But they needed cash from the home to fund the change. They reached out to the Mark Deedle team, and they were helped immediately with the entire process from selling belongings to prepping the home for maximum value. The home went on the market and sold for $5,000 over the asking price in less than a week. That's what Mark Deedle does. He's the only real estate agent that can guarantee your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price or deadline, or he will buy it. No long-term contracts. You pick the move date. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Deedle today. 317-755-4232 or go to markdeedle.com.
You've got WIBC traffic at 305. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Hey, Jake, looking at a crash downtown at eastbound 70 at Meridian Street, blocking the right center lane, stopping traffic back to Belmont Avenue. Your delay is at 12 minutes. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Penn. It's a 5-minute delay. And police activity reported on Rural Street between 10th and 11th. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code radio for an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thank you, Matt. And now here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, mostly clear and comfortable. Lows in the mid-60s, a few spots in the 50s in eastern Indiana. For Tuesday, will be pleasant, mostly sunny or partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 80s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. The gun guy, Relford, is in. It's been a while. How you been, man?
It has been a little while.
But you filled in anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly. I love being here. I love filling in for Jason or you on that rare occasion, Nigel, when you're out. And
I heard the sarcasm.
It's awesome to be here, and I always have a lot of fun.
I love that we had a peaceful weekend in downtown Indianapolis when all eyes were on downtown Indianapolis with the WNBA All-Star Game and the events leading up to the WNBA All-Star Game. And it was such a novel thing that, you know, Police Chief Bailey released a statement thanking people. The FOP has now released a statement. Let me read just a little bit of what Rick Snyder in the FOP statement says about the peaceful weekend downtown Indy. Quote, "Imagine that. A posture of strength, unity, and consistency works. We are grateful for the wonderful women and men of IMPD who did what they always do when allowed to do it. Back to basics, community policing. We thank all those who partnered with IMPD and Chief Bailey, including Indiana State Police, Reverend Charles Harrison and the 10-Point Coalition. Love the 10-Point getting a mention.
Absolutely.
There, because they hardly ever get mentioned from the mayor's office. The FOP statement goes on to say, and I've left a little bit out just for brevity's sake here. When accountability and consequences for criminal behavior are clearly articulated and understood, it works. It also turns out we didn't need to restrict the rights of law-abiding to get adults and juveniles to not shoot one another in downtown Indianapolis." We'll get back to that line in just a second. I want to get your take on that. The statement goes on to read, "We needed no change to curfew or gun laws, just a willingness to enforce existing laws, lock people up when needed, and message swift, certain accountability. The challenge now, Indy's prosecutor and courts must back this play and combine it with closing the revolving door while making bed space in our juvenile detention center and jail." Guy Relford, your thoughts, and then we'll focus on that one line.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I was down here Saturday to do my show,
yes,
5 to 7, and then my wife had other plans, and so I stuck around, which is a rare for me. I usually head straight home.
And by the way, side note, just so everybody knows, Black Expo also going on this weekend.
Absolutely,
just packed.
Exactly,
downtown
right.
was packed and thriving.
And so I was very interested in knowing what it was going to be like downtown. So I stuck around downtown and walked around the circle a little bit, went down, smoked a fabulous cigar, and had a bourbon at Burn by Rocky Patel, right down Meridian Street. And but in walking around downtown, Nigel, I saw a police presence like I've never seen in downtown Indianapolis. And IMPD was out. I mean, they were out. I saw a bunch of police on four-wheelers, which I've never seen downtown. A lot of police on bicycles, rather, which I've seen before, but I mean, we're talking dozens. And just from here and a couple, 3 blocks south of Washington Street, I saw IMPD officer after IMPD officer. And you know what? They were just present. They were paying attention. It wasn't intimidating in any way. It was kind of comforting, actually. But IMPD showed up. And this was early. I mean, this is, I was out of downtown by, 9:30 or so Saturday evening. But there's no doubt in my mind that continued throughout the evening. And that has to have a huge presence. And, when FOP puts out the statement that says, hey, we were there, we showed up, and lo and behold, it had an effect, it just shows you how enforcing existing law and making a presence, there in a way that lets the non-law abiding to know that their conduct's not going to be ignored. I mean, that makes all the difference in the world.
Here's just one cynical point I have, and this is just me, and it's a question that needs to be asked. Can they maintain that presence every weekend? You know what I mean? This was a special weekend when lots of people were going to be downtown, Black Expo, WNBA All-Star events. And I'm just thinking, okay, a few weeks ago, we just had a horrible a couple of weekends, including 4th of July weekend with several shootings involving juveniles. Can this be maintained, or was this a special circumstance?
See, that's not cynical, Nigel. That's smart. That's the smart question. That is the question. Because if you have an IMPD presence in downtown Indy like you had Saturday night, the crime problem is going to be fixed. I'll tell you right now, because there's just no place to do a crime without a police officer being right there. I'm talking about within the immediate vicinity where all the crime's been happening recently by juveniles. So that kind of presence is going to have a dramatic and immediate effect. But your question is the question in my mind, which is how much of that can be maintained over time. Is this going to be the standard presence on a Saturday night? I mean, we had 4th of July weekend. Okay, that obviously was catastrophic. That was horrible.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was a heavy police presence down here.
But I don't know. I wasn't down here the 4th of July. I know. But I guarantee you it wasn't anything like we saw Saturday night. Because we had a nationally televised event, the WNBA. We had Black Expo. But that is the question. Is there going to be a presence like that? If not, how much is going to be reduced? And based on how much it's reduced, what's the plan going forward to where people start getting comfortable coming downtown again? Because right now, a lot of people don't want to come down here.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey, who we'll be speaking with here in a little while, released this yesterday on social media, on X. Once again, no children were brought into our safe and secure location last night. Huge thanks to parents, guardians, family members, and our incredible community partners who helped staff the site all weekend. This is what community looks like. This is for our kids. And again, the cynical side of me, I heard Rob Kendall on the Kendall Casey show talking about this. The cynical side of me, again, says, I understand what Chris Bailey is doing here, the chief. We'll ask him all about this weekend and what steps and measures were taken to keep people safe. But thanking people for doing what they should already be doing is... I'm just saying, I don't want to come off like I'm being cynical, but I know that I am because I've already said it. But, no credit for something you should already be doing.
Well, yeah, okay, I get that. But, I hear that from other radio hosts here. And it's like a Republican votes against a measure you really want to have passed year after year after year, and they finally vote for it. Do you not thank them because they should have been voting for it all along?
Yeah.
I mean, no, you say, you know what? You saw the light. You did the right thing. It's all about positive reinforcement.
Yes.
And if a parent has let their idiot kid run around downtown, and be unsupervised and potentially fall in with other bad kids or be tempted to pick up a gun and to do something knuckleheaded, and they finally decide to, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to supervise my kid and keep him home and keep him off the street. Should I not thank them and and encourage them to do the same, because they should have been doing that all the same way all along? No, that's idiotic.
You turned me around on that one.
And so, I mean, when I hear crap like that, this is directed at anyone in particular, but it's like you're missing the damn
I
point.
just said it. I just said it.
Which is when somebody does the right thing.
Right.
I mean, if I forget to take the trash out 3 weeks in a row, and my wife finally says, "Honey, thanks so much for taking the trash out," should she not reward? Because I'll respond to that like a little flower opening to the sun, just by getting the positive reinforcement. So no, I completely disagree with that mindset.
Okay, all right, you set me straight on that one. I like it. That's what I got you here for, on my own show. Perfect. But there's one line I wanted to get your thoughts on, and then we'll hit a break here. But the one line from the FOP and Rick Snyder on the Peaceful Weekend downtown. Quote, "It also turns out we didn't need to restrict the rights of the law-abiding to get adults and juveniles to not shoot one another in downtown Indianapolis." What's he really saying?
Well, and Rick came on my show on Saturdays.
I heard that. It's a great interview.
And it was such a great discussion, just because Rick does such a great job. But we were discussing a news conference that Ryan Mears had done, where he said, well, it should come as no surprise when you pass permitless carry, encouraging everyone to have a gun, that some of those guns are going to wind up in the hands of juveniles. And when you have unregulated private sales of firearms, it should be no surprise that some of those guns are going to wind up in the hands of juveniles. And so he's blaming Indiana gun laws on this. And by the way, Rick Snyder had perfectly predicted in his open letter that you guys have discussed, I discussed it on my show, he put out before the Ryan Mears statement. He said, by the way, if anybody blames Indiana gun laws, you're either woefully ignorant or indifferent to reality, because juveniles cannot legally possess guns.
Right.
Shooting people is illegal. Pointing guns at people is illegal. Wanton acts of violence in downtown Indy are illegal. They always have been. They're crimes. Prosecute current crimes. And Rick could not have predicted Ryan Mears' statement even any better than what he did. So he came on my show and he said, listen, the idea with enforcing existing laws is exactly what we need to be focused on, and restricting adults in their Second Amendment rights is exactly the opposite. So that's what he's talking about. But Ryan Mears would have you believe if we did away with constitutional carry or permitless carry, some 14 or 15-year-old who wants to take a gun downtown to shoot up his, rival gang member or whatever it might be, is going to go, oh, wait, I don't have a permit. I might get prosecuted for a Class A misdemeanor if I'm carrying a gun without a license, when it's already illegal for him to have a gun as a juvenile anyway. Is going to go, I better leave my gun at home because I don't have a license to carry my gun. That's what Ryan Mears is telling you. That's idiotic, and that's what Rick Snyder and I talked about on my show on Saturday.
Let's take a look at traffic with Matt Baer, the traffic beast.
What's up, fellas? Looking at eastbound 70 downtown, a crash at Meridian Street, blocking the right center lane, and traffic is stopped back to Belmont Avenue. Delay time is 13 minutes. And now we have a very large truck stopped on the exit ramp from southbound 65 to Raymond Street. The ramp is still open, but it is partially blocked. Southbound 6570 stop and go traffic. Washington Street to the south split because of construction. Inbound 65 drags from 21st to Pennsylvania for a 4-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code radio for an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Guy Relford's filling in for Hammer. We have a big show today. We have the Chief Bailey, coming on at about 4:30. And then shortly after that, FOP President Rick Snyder on at 5. Last week, and I hate this, there seemed to be some tension a little bit between the Chief and the FOP, Rick Snyder. And it seems like that's been squashed. I heard about some meeting, and I don't like it when those guys have tension, because I love and respect both of those guys. And I have admiration for both of those guys. And it sounds like everything has been, especially with the success of this peaceful weekend, is okay.
I agree with you completely, Nigel. At the same time, I love that we get to hear from both sides.
Yes.
Because, listen, the police chief, and I respect Chief Bailey, absolutely. I respected him when he was assistant chief. But the political appointees and the head of the department can often have very different views from the rank and file, the officer on the street that Rick Snyder represents. And they can have different views. They can have different approaches to the same issue. They can both have value, and we should. And obviously, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I don't mean to sound like that. No. But I'm glad we get to hear from both perspectives, because they can definitely vary when you're talking about a political appointee who's head of the department versus the rank and file that Rick Snyder represents. And I think that's important that we hear from both, and I'm glad we are today here on the show.
83 and cloudy at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. A certain crackhead is back in the news. We'll get to that next.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at TaxPro USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-554-3122. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call TaxPro USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-554-3122. 800-554-3122. That's 800-554-3122.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swanco 317-407-1868 or swancollc.com.
This is the soundtrack of summer.
Some memories last forever.
A cow says...
Some memories thrill.
This is a roller coaster.
Some memories chill.
Listen to the lemon shake-up.
And new memories are waiting at your Indiana State Fair. Presented by Get Prepared Indiana. Save now on discounted tickets.
PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse is now open and ready to serve you. Whether you're buying jewelry or selling jewelry, PA Jewelers has got you covered. One-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces. Make an appointment, sit down with them in the buy room, and find out how you can get that special piece made just for you. Easy to get to in Brownsburg. See everything they have to offer in a no-pressure environment. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse, now open in Brownsburg. 317-456-4010. That's 456-4010. Or online at pajewelers.jewelry. pajewelers.jewelry.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Summer's the hardest season on your well system. Let C&J check it out before it checks out on you. C&J, great systems, great people too. 317-852-WELL.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. If you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, 38 years ago today, 1987, Guy. Guns N' Roses releasing their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, featuring this song, Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child O' Mine. I think out of those three I just mentioned, Paradise City might be my favorite. I don't know about you, and I know there's other songs on that album, but those are the big three.
You know, I think Paradise City is exactly what we think about when we think about, you know, the ultimate Guns N' Roses song. But
it's a great anthem.
Axl Rose's vocals on "Sweet Child of Mine" are, as a guy who cannot sing a lick, I have no voice whatsoever. That was a beautifully sung song.
And then just the beginning and the buildup of "Welcome to the Jungle."
Oh, it's good
before
it's
it
classic.
kicks in.
Absolutely.
Hey, for whatever reason, Hunter Biden is trying to insert himself into the public spotlight. Ahead of the midterms next year, here he is in a recent interview defending. I wonder who was really running the immigration policy under the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
I think we now know who it is. Here he is defending illegal immigration on some interview.
Be like all these Democrats say, you have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration. You. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your garden? Who do you think is here by the sheer just grit and will that they figured out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance? And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the criminals? Be like all these Democrats say.
Wow, Democrats just love their slaves, don't they? I mean, he just listed out like we need a permanent underclass, so the rich and powerful's lives will be much easier. Gardeners, landscapers, cooks, maids, butt wipers. And if you think I'm joking about the butt wipers comment, did you hear this guy? Let me introduce you to Representative Becca Ballant out of Vermont.
If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses.
That's a real quote from a real representative in Congress. How condescending can you be? And Hunter Biden in those comments didn't make a distinction between illegal aliens and legal immigrants, or Americans for that matter.
Well, and that's the mistake. Yeah, that's the mistake they always make, and I think Americans have seen through that. I think they specifically have seen through it as evidenced by the last election.
Yes, absolutely.
Which Americans understand the difference between legal and illegal immigration. When I saw this, though, Nige, and when you showed it to me, my first thought was, you know what, when the Democrats wanted David Hogg to be, one of the spokespersons for their party, I thought, wow, what a horrible decision. And then I went, oh no, they've gone one up on that. They've done themselves proud. They've gone up and said, no, we want Hunter Biden. Because I'm sorry, who can get the image of him passed out in a bathtub with a crack pipe in his mouth?
How many illegal immigrants cleaned up his crack residue after all those drug-fueled sex parties, I wonder?
Exactly. I mean, these people are incredibly misguided when they come to who they want to be the spokespersons for their party. Hunter Biden, okay, let's go with that.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Lately, the market has been making some big moves, and not all in the right direction. If you've been watching the numbers and wondering what it all means for your retirement, you're not alone. At Howard Bailey Financial, we plan for times like this. The truth is, a volatile day on Wall Street can feel a lot different when you're getting closer to retirement. That's why right now is the right time to take a fresh look at your portfolio, and Howard Bailey can help. Are you taking on more risk than you realize? Are you diversified in a way that makes sense for where you are in life? Find out today with the help of our free Market Volatility Guide. Visit retirewithpurpose.com to download your free guide and learn more about what market shifts may mean for you. That's retirewithpurpose.com. Together, let's make sure your plan is built to weather whatever comes next. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. Destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A tragedy involving someone popular. Mostly cloudy and 84 degrees in the Circle City. 65 is the low for tonight. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Actor from The Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, has died. Here's Fox's Michelle Polino.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, best known as the lovable son Theo on The Cosby Show, has died at 54. Authorities in Costa Rica confirming the actor drowned, though details have not been officially released. Warner rose to fame on NBC's The Cosby Show, which premiered in 1984 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon, playing the son of Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad's characters. Warner was a fan favorite through the show's nearly 200-episode run, earning an Emmy nomination in 1986. He later starred in Malcolm and Eddie, had a key role on The Resident, and remained a regular presence on television. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
The Justice Department has put a freeze on billions of dollars that Harvard was supposed to get for its research funding. They claim that anti-Semitism and those diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are running rampant on Harvard's campus. A U.S. district judge from Massachusetts has been asked by Harvard to declare this funding freeze illegal. Impeachment is a term that gets thrown around a lot by lawmakers on the national level. Here's WIBC's John Herrick on a state representative who thinks it might be appropriate sometimes in Indiana.
State Representative Andrew Ireland of Indianapolis says he's tired of seeing Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears and what he calls rogue judges not be tough enough on crime.
Impeachment is focused on whether or not somebody is enforcing the laws the General Assembly writes. And if the prosecutor is not willing to do that, then I absolutely think there should be some accountability in place.
Which is why he tells Indy Politics that the General Assembly needs to look at drafting legislation to do that, especially since prosecutors are considered state officers, which means they're paid with state money. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're paying an average of $3.15 a gallon of gas today, says AAA, which that is up by a penny from the national average. The cheapest gas is in Chesterfield at $2.56, but you can only pay with cash. If you would rather pay with card, the cheapest gas is in Daleville at $2.61. Traffic and weather next. It's 3:34.
By now, you've heard about IndianaUnclaimed.gov. It's a way to claim your unclaimed property from the Indiana Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division. It's not a scam. It's not houses, boats, cars, or storage facilities. It isn't free money. So what exactly is it? It's your money. It belongs to you, and it's waiting for you to claim it. It's money from unclaimed wages or commissions, forgotten bank accounts, underlying shares, refunds, insurance proceeds, stock dividends, safe deposit box contents, overpayments, certificates of deposit, money orders, and more. The Indiana Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division safeguards those funds while trying to locate and return those funds to the owner or heir. It's your money, you deserve it, and the Attorney General's office wants to make sure you get it. The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Hammer and Nigel to 46220. That's Hammer and Nigel to 46220. Or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
With traffic now, here's Matt Baer.
Downtown, crash clear, eastbound 70 and Meridian still stopped from Belmont to West Street, but the front of the line is clearing out. Inbound 65 slow after 21st to Meridian. Southbound 65-70 slow from Michigan Street down to the South Split because of construction, delayed 3 minutes. We have police activity on the south side here. It's on the exit ramp from southbound 65 to Raymond Street. The ramp is open, just be careful. South side westbound 465 slow from 74 to Arlington, then a stall on the exit ramp from eastbound 465 to Emerson Avenue. Again, the ramp is open. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com. Visit drexelin.com for your free interior design or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Still can't rule out an isolated shower or storm south of I-70, but the majority of us dry. High temperatures in the mid-80s. Tonight, mostly clear and comfortable. Lows in the mid-60s, a few spots in the 50s in eastern Indiana. For Tuesday, will be pleasant, mostly sunny or partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 80s. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
The Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah, Guy Relford, who happens to be filling in for Hammer as the Second Amendment attorney, gun rights enthusiast and activist, and licensed firearms instructor. He knows a lot about guns. And so even though you're filling in, man, we're still going to do Monday Gun Day. And I did want to acknowledge, was it last week, the 3rd year anniversary of the Greenwood Park Mall mass shooting and hero Eli Dicken, who stopped the shooter. Tragically, there were lives lost in that shooting, but that could have been a lot worse. It was last week that was 3 years, right?
Yeah, it was on the 17th last week. But Nigel, I got to thank my sponsor as always. Thanks as always to Premier Arms in Brownsburg with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest. And PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com. But yeah, buddy, you're absolutely right. It was on the 17th last week. And this is when, you know, a person with a rifle and well over 100 rounds of ammunition on his body, walked into the Greenwood Park Mall after sitting in a restroom right off the food court for some substantial period of time. Walked into the food court, started shooting, and you're right. I mean, the thing we always have to remember is 3 innocent people lost their lives, and that's absolutely tragic. But dozens and dozens and dozens more people would have lost their lives that day if Eli Dicken, from all the way across the food court, 43 yards away, with a handgun, engaged the shooter, and in a mere 15 seconds after that shooting started, Eli ended it. And it was one of the most incredible acts of bravery and heroism and marksmanship that we've ever seen in this country, especially from someone who's, a civilian, not a police officer, not a military member, and with virtually no formal training, stepped up and saved, literally countless lives that day in the Greenwood Park Mall. And so I posted about it, and I said, when I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, Eli got the Greenwood Citizen of the Year award that next year, and I was down there and when he received that award, and Chief Eisen, James Eisen, presented that to him. That was awesome. But I've been thinking about it since then, and I'm like, and he doesn't want the spotlight. He's never given a media interview. Yep. He's had me as his lawyer. Yep. Full disclosure, anything I say about Eli, please know I'm his lawyer. I'm still his lawyer. I do it pro bono because I love the guy and I'm his friend.
Hannity wanted him on, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. I mean, yeah. I mean, I took personal calls from Hannity wanting him on. And Eli didn't want to talk to the media. He authorized me to talk to the media. And, of course, nobody wants to hear from the damn lawyer, which I completely agree with and understand. But no, one of my biggest pleasures about representing Eli is I got to tell CNN and MSNBC to pound sand about 10 times, which was fun. But Eli never wanted the spotlight and still doesn't, and he's never given a media interview ever.
Good for him.
But in thinking about it,
fine.
The highest award you can get as a civilian here in Indiana is the Sagamore of the Wabash.
Sure.
And it and they're the criteria basically dramatic and significant contributions to Indiana and to the community here. And gosh, who better meets that definition than Elijah Dickin? And so I put out on my social media last week that I think we ought to begin a campaign to get Eli the Sagamore of the Wabash. And I'd love to be there if that happened.
How do we do that? Is that like a petition or some sort of online
it's
thing
up to
we could do?
Governor Braun. And I've indirectly reached out to the governor about that, and so I think we ought to just begin a kind of a friendly, a petition like they have the online petition drives now. I'm going to set one of those up, and I think signing the petition and then having some friendly conversations with the governor's office. I can't imagine we can't make this happen.
You said Eli had did he have training with a gun?
No.
I mean, he knew how to use a gun.
Well, his grandfather had taught him how to shoot when he was 10 or 12 years old, and that's it. I mean, I met with him the next day after the event. His family hired me as their lawyer, which I've always done pro bono, and I'm happy to do that. But I met with him the next day, and we're talking about the shots because he was 8 of 10, starting at 43 yards away with a handgun. It's a Glock 19. It's a compact gun. It's not even a quote-unquote full-size gun. And I said, when you go to the range, are you really, really good? And he said, well, I've never been to the range. And I said, well, hold on. So when you've taken like a training class, were you like the best one in the class? He goes, I've never taken a class. So his grandfather taught him how to shoot. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I don't get religious a lot when I do my show or I'm doing the radio, but I got one theory, brother. The hand of God was on his shoulder.
Absolutely.
That's the only way to explain it. It's unbelievable.
I was going to say, and then let's talk about the human component. I mean, the word instinct comes to mind. I mean, did that play a part in his, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're his lawyer, you speak for him indirectly, but did instinct kick in once he saw and kind of processed what was going on in those 15 seconds?
Well, I've had that exact conversation with him, and Eli is such a great guy and so pure in his heart. And literally what he told me is he said, I saw this guy killing people, and I knew I had to stop him from killing people. And that was it. I mean, I had to stop him from killing people. And drew his gun, which he was legally carrying, from 43 yards. So I lasered it. I can tell you exactly the distance. And his first 4 shots, he braced on a tall mall trash can. So put his forearms on the top of the trash can, took those first 4 shots. From 43 yards away, made 2 out of 4 shots. And from Eli's first shot, that guy never fired another shot out of his rifle.
Okay.
That's why the whole shooting ended in 15 seconds. And but it was just that pure. It was, I saw him killing people, and I knew I had to stop him from killing people, and he did. I mean, and again, countless lives. And get this, after the fact, it's like 3 days later, I'm at home and I get a text from my little sister.
I can tell you're getting emotional here a little.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
I understand it. I get it.
But I get a text from my little sister, and all it is a picture of a Victoria's Secret receipt. And I'm like, First of all, why is my 40-something sister in Victoria's Secret? And secondly, why is she sending me a copy of the receipt? And I look at this receipt, and it's from the Greenwood Park Mall, and it was at 5:54 p.m. on the day the shooting happened. The shooting started happening at like 5:58.
Yeah. Well,
And so my little sister was in the mall when the whole thing happened. Unbelievable.
I can tell it's an emotional thing for you. I can imagine.
Yeah, I'm glad
what it's
we're on
like.
the radio.
I can imagine what it's like for Eli and his family, and I think he deserves that award.
And the countless other families. I mean,
countless other families. And
the
we
story
do
that I have to tell, there are another 150 people that have the exact same story.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Let's take a break, come back, because I do want to ask you about what Donald Trump is doing in the Supreme Court and
absolutely.
bringing the hammer down on some of these gun laws and legislation. We'll be right back. More with Monday Gunday with Guy Relford, 93 WIBC.
Matt Bear here for Trajan Wealth. I trusted my retirement with Trajan, and they've proven to be the right choice. Their customer service, how they treat you like family, is just impeccable. Trajan offered guidance on a variety of financial matters, including ways to earn higher potential returns, answered all of my questions with patience, and showed me what a small amount of money could turn into by the time I retire. Call the team I trust, the Trajan team, at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Your first appointment is free. Trajan is a fiduciary, always acting in our best interest. Their financial experts don't work on commission. My ears definitely perked up when I heard that. Call today and learn more. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement. Matt Bear here for Trajan
where's the
Wealth.
lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Who needs a lake when you can lease a 2025 HRV LX all-wheel drive for $329 a month and $0 down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake.
Visit us off State Road 37 for special pricing during our summer sales event. With approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only. Not combinable with other offers. All fees due at signing. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends July 31st. See dealer for details.
Yeah, so here's a decision I had to make. It was either add an additional room to our house or fix our crumbling sidewalk and porch. I'm so glad we used Indy Decorative Concrete to fix our porch and sidewalk. They turned it into something unique that gave me even additional space to entertain, more value than any room addition in my house would have given. Mark, the owner, came out to the house, gave us a few design ideas, and then we went to their showroom, and his wife Jamie helped us pick out the stamped pattern we liked best, and I was completely blown away. My wife and I were both just amazed at what they did in terms of taking a basic sidewalk and porch and turning it into a custom stamped concrete area / patio with even more space. And again, just an awesome, unique look. So whether it's a new patio, sidewalk, porch, whatever, don't do anything until you've checked out IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. Tell them Nigel sent you.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight, and his cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend lost 20 pounds her first 2 months.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. Early bird special only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminars Thursday, July 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30, stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. And Saturday, August 2nd at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m., stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Pierce Jewelers is the best family-owned jewelry store in Carmel. All jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, and custom design are done in-house. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Hammer Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
Busy day? No problem. The WIBC Mashup podcast catches you up with standout moments from your favorite shows. Fresh episodes every weekday. One click, all the good stuff. Get your daily fix. Search WIBC Mashup wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
All right, Nigel, we looking at this right now on the NDOT jam cam. It just happened. It's northbound 465 at 865 as we gather the information here. This is a crash blocking 2 right lanes, maybe 6 cars involved right now as I try and count them on the camera. Traffic is definitely stopped back to 86th Street for a delay of 7 minutes. Looking at westbound 465, that's slow off Meridian 31 to Ditch Road. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic 21st to Meridian Penn. Southbound 6570, construction delay running from the north split to the south split. That's a delay of 8 minutes. Eastbound 70 slows from West Street into the south split. The crash did clear. And on the east side, southbound 465 slow before Washington to Arlington. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com. Visit drexelin.com for your free interior design or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
84 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here on 93 WIBC. Guy Relford in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. Monday GUNDAY. What does Donald Trump and the DOJ want the Supreme Court to do in terms of kind of bringing down the hammer on gun rules?
Yeah, this is a big deal. I mean, and one of the things we were excited, of the many, many things we were excited about for Trump to win the last election was what the Department of Justice would start doing in a lot of pending lawsuits, Nigel. And one of those has to do with a lawsuit where 6 different states, after the Supreme Court came out and said basically you have to give people the right in every state to carry a handgun in public. And this was a challenge to New York's very strict licensing laws. And they came out and said, you know what, you have to allow people to carry in public. Well, then the question became, where could states still restrict people from carrying in public? If they give them the general right, could we still declare certain areas as quote-unquote sensitive areas and prevent people from carrying in those areas? And New York and Hawaii and several other states came out with basically declaring almost every damn place as an essential, as a sensitive area where people can't carry. Hawaii came out with a law, and New York had a similar law that basically said if it's private property, like a business, unless you already have express permission from the owner of the property to carry your gun there, then it's illegal to carry a gun there and you go to jail. It's not like they just don't deny you, they don't prohibit it, but unless you already have express permission, then it's illegal to carry there, which would basically apply to everywhere in public. And which completely guts the idea that you have to have the right to carry in public. So several gun rights groups and some individuals sued over that. They were suing the state of Hawaii. And the Department of Justice under Trump and Pam Bondi just came out and filed a brief with the Supreme Court of the United States and said, we want you to take this case and we want you to overturn this, because the idea that, yes, you have a general right to carry in public, but basically that right can be gutted by this ridiculous law in Hawaii and other places, it completely eradicates that ruling that we got previously from the Supreme Court. So this is a big deal.
We got about like 90 seconds left. What about the federal age limit on handgun purchases?
Same deal. There's there is a federal limit that says you can't buy a gun from a gun store unless you're 21. You can buy a rifle or a shotgun at 18, but you can't buy a handgun until you're 21. And several states have sued over that because there's no historical analog of why that's legal in the United States, and that's the test. And so same thing. Pam Bondi's Department of Justice under Trump came out and said, we're no longer contesting the government's defense. We're no longer supporting the defense of this statute. We think it's unconstitutional as well. 18, 19, and 20-year-olds ought to be able to buy a handgun in a gun store. And so now we're waiting on court rulings in both those cases, but looks like they could easily go the right way.
You know, the gun guy and I were off the air complaining about our first world problems over the weekend. We were trying to enjoy our decks and our new furniture, and we couldn't because of the rain.
Yeah, couldn't hang out on the back deck.
It's going to be more of the same this week, but a little different in terms of the heat. And we're going to get Wish TV meteorologist Marcus Bailey to fill us in here in just a few minutes. It's going to get intense this week, ladies and gentlemen, here in Central Indy. That's next on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Well, I got to tell you, and Hammer already knows this, Victor's Home Solutions is the absolute best company to call if you're having problems with your roof. And you know they're the best because they're so confident in the precision, craftsmanship, and training of their crews. They offer an industry-best 50-year leak-free guarantee. Hammer, they were just out at your house, right?
Yeah, I had my guy Henry from Victor's come by my house, gave me a free little review of what's going on my roof right now. Showed up on time, totally clean, fun dude. We talked a little bit, but he showed me video that he took of my roof and areas where they can improve. These guys are the best. To schedule your free roof inspection, contact Victor's today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS. Free 21-point roof inspection. You can also go to victors.com. Get this free inspection now. I did it. You do it. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Indianapolis was built for speed, electricity, and nonstop action. So was Live Golf. So where better to crown a new individual champion? leading the pack? Rob, DeChambeau, and Neiman. But only one can be the victor. So be at Chatham Hills August 15th to 17th as Live Golf gets even louder. With a doubleheader concert from Riley Green and Jason Derulo. Tickets are already flying out of the gate. Hurry and grab yours now at livegolf.com.
Summer's in full swing, so come get that hot summer deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, plus 0% for 72 months. Or lease a new 2025 Lincoln Corsair for just $499 per month at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 110,425. Corsair MSRP 53,915. 3,500 due at lease signing. 0 security deposit. 36 months. 10,500 miles per year. Offers good through 7/31/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what the weather will have to offer for you this week across the state, a crash in Indianapolis that turned into tragedy this morning, and something that an organization is doing that is beneficial to veterans and the community. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock now.
MLK records released. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Just getting word the Trump administration has released records from FBI surveillance of Martin Luther King Jr., an estimated 200,000 pages that had been sealed by a court since 1977. The release comes despite opposition from King's family, his 2 living children releasing a statement emphasizing the personal nature of his case and urging that the files be viewed in their full historical context. The White House calls the weekend shooting that injured an off-duty border agent in New York City a tragedy, as Homeland Security officials say both suspects were in the country illegally and had been released after prior arrests. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt telling Fox,
"We must remove these public safety threats from our communities. That's exactly what the Trump administration is doing."
Investigators say the shooting in a New York City park happened during an attempted robbery. Secretary of State Marco Rubio just announcing the U.S. will deport some permanent U.S. residents after finding they supported and collaborated with Haitian gang leaders connected to a foreign terrorist organization. The individuals were not named. A tragedy in Costa Rica where officials say actor Malcolm Jamal Warner has died in what they're calling an accidental drowning.
The Associated Press is reporting that Warner died of asphyxia after he was caught in a strong current at a beach on Costa Rica's Caribbean coast. He was rescued by people on that beach, but was recovered apparently without any vital signs. Now, Warner is only 54 years old. He is obviously best known for playing Theo on all 8 seasons of The Cosby Show.
Fox's Bill Malugin, he was Emmy nominated for that role. His publicist did not immediately confirm Jamal Warner's death. He was vacationing in Costa Rica with his wife and daughter. A mixed finish on Wall Street after a rally during the session, a late sell-off. The Dow finishing down 19 points. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You've heard it's going to be hot this week. It's 83 degrees and cloudy here on Monument Circle. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 4:02. But showers are likely Thursday through Saturday, and some could get rough.
It's a little too soon to tell if any of those storms could be severe. However, this time of year, we can't rule out a severe storm, and especially with how warm and humid it, can't rule out heavier rains that could result in flooding.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says the real danger is how hot it will feel, as the humidity could push temperatures to feel like they're over 100 degrees. A collision near an Indianapolis off-ramp Monday left one person dead. Ryan Hedrick reports what police say happened.
IMPD says they responded to a 2-car crash involving a silver truck and a red car just before 9 a.m.
That location was on North Post Road, right at the I-70 interchange.
IMPD officer Drew Brown says they don't think alcohol or drugs played a role in the crash.
But for our due diligence, as it coordinates with state law, we always submit the driver to a chemical test.
And Brown says each car had one person inside.
The adult female in the red sedan was pronounced deceased on scene.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Manchester Apartments, which is helping veterans and families of Indiana's largest housing property, caught fire last October. CEO of HVAF Emmy Hildebrand told Wish TV they moved veterans back into the apartments last Monday.
We are definitely making some lemonade out of the lemons that we were given in October. So when the building is fully complete about a year from now, we'll actually have 14 more units of housing and we'll double our pantry space.
Hildebrand says the HVAF's job is to make sure people get inside with supportive services. Veteran homelessness in Indy has gone down by 26% this past year, but there is still a lot of work to do. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White saying at practice on Monday that she doesn't have anything new to report on Fever guard Caitlin Clark's groin injury.
Not yet, and I don't presume to give any timetables. It's whatever the medical staff says. That's what I go by.
She expects Clark to miss Tuesday night's game against New York. Aside from that, though, she says she likes the team's focus as they prepare for the second half of the season. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Lynn just loves the summer in Indy, but she's not going to spend it painting. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time we had the roof done as well.
Now you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
WIBC traffic at 4:05. Matt Bear, what you got?
Yeah, Jake, this is a crash, all right. It's on the northwest side. At least 6 cars involved, I've counted. It's northbound 465 at 865 Ramsey. Right now, 2 right lanes are blocked. We're getting by in the left lane only. A couple of fire trucks are out there. Large emergency response. Again, multiple vehicles involved in this. Traffic is stopped back to West 79th Street. Delay time coming in at 30 minutes. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic from 21st to Penn. That's a 4-minute delay. Southbound 65 70 jam. North split to the south split delayed 5 minutes. Eastbound 74-minute delay from Harding into the south split. East side southbound 465 slow off 70 to Washington. Traffic sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. This is how we advance. Meet Joey Logano July 25th, 5:30 p.m. at Advance Auto Parts and Speedway. First 100 fans get a photo, plus Kona Ice games and more. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cooler, partly cloudy and dry for a Monday night with lows falling into the mid-60s. Tuesday will be a warmer yet slightly less humid day overall with lots of sunshine and highs pushing into the upper 80s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. Guy Relford is in. And we have some weather coming at us this week. I wanted to get ahead of it here with Wish TV meteorologist Marcus Bailey. My man, Marcus, how are you?
Nige, good to talk to you, buddy.
So I just heard, who was that meteorologist we just heard from? The other guy?
That was Stephen Deanna. He's our digital meteorologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like tomorrow's going to be too bad, right?
No, I think it's it's pretty nice right now with, an overcast, low 80s, humidity's manageable. And I think, it'll probably be a little brighter tomorrow and a little warmer, like late July, but it won't be kind of that soupy, humid, gross feeling like we've had the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Today, tomorrow, no problem.
But there's a but coming.
There's always
Guy
a but,
Relford.
Right?
Wednesday.
Yes.
It all starts Wednesday, right? I'm not talking about rain. I'm talking about the heat indices.
Indices. Yes.
I still feel like that's a new word that you guys made up just a couple of years ago.
That's the plural of index, heat index. So heat indices.
Okay.
Yes. I learned that at Ball State, funny enough.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not new. So Wednesday, let's talk about Wednesday and the rest of the week because it's going to be intense.
Yeah, so, I mean, we do get to dial back the humidity a little bit tomorrow. You're going to have two things happen on Wednesday. Wednesday, you're going to get this, we call it a heat dome. It's basically just a big ridge of high pressure that's going to start building for basically the eastern half of the country. So what it does is it keeps you dry. It's going to start sucking up a lot of Gulf moisture up into the Midwest, and it is just going to be blazing hot. I've got us in the probably close to 90 by Wednesday, low possibly mid-90s Thursday and Friday. And then you factor in the dew points. That's the measurement of moisture in the air. That's the humidity. It's going to be comparable to what you would typically get, say, in Florida.
Yeah.
So you're talking like mid-70s. You combine both of those. Your heat indices, those are going to range between as low as 100, maybe as high as 110. So that's going to rival the hottest stretch that we had probably about a month ago when we went about a week straight of heat advisories and that type of heat.
And so that means heat. So that means feels like it's going to feel like it's 100 plus.
Yeah, and,
right?
and that's the important number, right? I mean, the air temperature is fine, but it kind of works the same way with wind chill in the winter, right? The important number is what does it feel like to you when you're outside?
That's what I was just going to say, Marcus. This is Guy. I was going to say, when I hear you say heat index, I'm always thinking, well, that's the opposite end of the spectrum from wind chill, which is just what it feels like given all the different factors involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, it makes a huge difference. 32 with no wind is a lot more pleasant than 32 with a 40-mile-per-hour wind in the wintertime. Well, it works the same way. It's not wind-related in the summertime, though. It's purely based on the combination of how hot the temperatures are and then how saturated the air is. That's the humidity, how much moisture is in the air. And it can get dangerous because your body has a tough time sweating, cooling itself off naturally. So when you start getting to those type of numbers, and that's why they end up, I wouldn't be shocked. We'll probably start seeing something from the Weather Service probably sometime tomorrow in regards to the second half of this week and potentially into the weekend. We have some rain chances that might help cool things down Saturday and Sunday, but there's still going to be kind of this heat dome at least through the end of the weekend before we finally get some relief from the high heat and humidity. So pretty decent stretch if you work outside, if you spend some time. I know a lot of schools are probably already starting their fall sports practices.
Colts.
You know what I mean? Like football and Colts training camps on Wednesday. So take it easy because it's going to be rough here starting Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm proud of my 13-year-old son, Connor. Him and his buddies started this little business where they go around and scrub out all the trash bins after trash day, and they sign up. And they've got their little wagon, and they hook up the hoses, and they just they spray out everything, and they don't charge very much, but. Trash the day after trash day is Wednesday in the neighborhood that he's going to be at. And I'm like, bro, you're going to want to start at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, get it done early. I guess the nice thing is he's working with water, so.
There's that. You should see them, these little 13-year-old kids, they dump the trash bin like on its side and they crawl inside of it and, they rub it down with towels and they have a chemical that they put in it and stuff like that. So basically anybody working outside from roofers to road construction workers.
That's the people I think of all the time.
Yeah.
Sitting there in long sleeve and pants and on top of the asphalt for hours upon hours along the day that's pretty rough. So if you're outside, take it easy. Lots of fluids. See if you can sneak inside, get some air conditioning if you can.
Yep. Okay, man. Wish TV meteorologist Marcus Bailey. Where can we find more coverage?
I'm on social media, Marcus Bailey Weather on Facebook, at Marcus Bailey on X, and then of course on Wish TV Daybreak starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning, Marcus. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Marcus.
Did you take in any of the WNBA All-Star game on TV at all, Guy?
A little bit, because I was, like I said, I was downtown while it was going on live over at Gainbridge, and so I saw a little bit. I went down to see my buddies at Byrne was having a cigar, and they put it on, and so I watched a little bit.
There's some huge watch parties and stuff like that. Did you see what the players kind of were sending a message to the WNBA commissioner with the T-shirts they wore?
Pay us what you owe us.
Pay us what you owe us. And it was basically over the salaries and revenue sharing between players in the league. I think I don't like my salary. I think I know what the rookie salary is for WNBA. It's like in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to talk about how much I make, but I make more than that. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, how in the F can I make more money than Caitlin Clark? Base salary. I know she's got endorsements with Nike and Gatorade and State Farms.
Yeah.
State Farm, but I do find it interesting. I think the play, and they're negotiating right now. They had this big meeting, but I think the players and the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, may not be on the same page here. I'm going to play some audio here for you from the WNBA commissioner on the meetings they've had. What? No, we don't have it? Did I?
It's not in the folder.
It's not in the folder?
But
for God's sake.
So what did she say?
Well, I mean, she basically said, look, we're working on it. I think we're all at a place where we can agree that I think we're all at a place where we're negotiating, we're happy, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but here's the big problem, Nigel. I didn't mean to interrupt you, buddy. But here's the big problem. Because, listen, do I think that WNBA players should be paid more than something like $70,000 a year? Absolutely, 100%, no doubt. Especially when you compare, like, NBA salaries that are, 40 and 50 and more million of dollars a year. At the same time, you mentioned a very important term, which is revenue sharing. In order to have revenue sharing, you actually have to have revenue, which generally means there's a profit. And the WNBA has lost money, a significant amount of money, every year that it's ever been in existence. The NBA supplements it.
Right.
So if they're not making money, then how do you argue too hard for revenue sharing? Yes, there's gross revenue, but there's no net revenue. So how do you have a compelling argument for why you ought to be paid more?
Somebody said, like, pay us what you owe us. Then, like, the WNBA players owe the WNBA like $40 million. Oh
yeah, well that's
kind of a joke.
No, somebody did that on AI. Because they came out and they had some NBA owners who obviously own the WNBA teams too. They with AI they had them in T-shirts that say "Pay back what you've lost."
But there was anyway. My point was there seems to be a disagreement, a disparity, like a mixed messages because there was this initial meeting between the players and the league with multiple all-stars after that meeting saying the league's proposal is disappointing, quote, slap in the face. And the commissioner was like, no, we're working it out. We're working on profits and, we're doing everything. Everybody's on the same page. Here is somebody asking Caitlin Clark on the fight for better WNBA salaries.
Where does your W salary stack up against your deals with State Farm, Gatorade, Nike?
It's a good question. Honestly, I feel like that's where we're really fortunate is that we have those other deals. And I think that's one of the things that we're in the room fighting for, like Fee said, is, we should be paid more. And hopefully that's the case moving forward as the league continues to grow. I think that's something that's probably the most important thing that we're in the room advocating about.
Yeah, well, I think the players' reps need to leverage. The only reason why we're talking about this right now is Caitlin Clark.
That is such an important point, Nige, and you're so smart to bring that up because, listen, whatever the WNBA players get out of this, they all ought to be sending a thank you note to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Because without Caitlin Clark, we're not having this discussion. Because they're watching, NBA arenas getting sold out because Caitlin Clark's coming to town. They're watching the amount of people and merchandise being sold here in Indianapolis because of Caitlin Clark. And then what I can't understand is why they want to beat her into a pulp on the court. You have all these ridiculous cheap shots being taken against her every game she plays in. They seem to resent her, but I'll guarantee you anything they get out of this collective bargaining agreement that's going on right now, the negotiations for which are going on right now, they ought to send a chunk to Caitlin Clark because she's responsible for
the
it.
revenue sharing with Caitlin Clark exclusively.
Do they not understand where their loyalties and their thanks should lie? It's unbelievable to me. It's just idiotic.
Hammer just texted me. I think he's listening. The WNBA as a whole league lost $40 million. Stephen Colbert has an individual loss of $40 million last year for CBS alone. Advantage WNBA.
and that's why he's a great radio host right there. That's such a great point.
He'll be back Wednesday, by the way. Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
Northwest side crash, northbound 465 at I-865. 2 right lanes are blocked, and traffic is stopped back to West 79th Street for a delay of 20 minutes. Southbound 65, 70 stopped from the north split to the south split because of construction, delayed 7 minutes. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Tibbs Avenue into the south split. Inbound 65 slow from 29th to Meridian Penn. South side eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. I-69 over to US 31. Traffic sponsored by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
84 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything next on 93 WIBC?
Wealth. I trusted my retirement with Trajan, and they've proven to be the right choice. Their customer service, how they treat you like family, is just impeccable. Trajan offered guidance on a variety of financial matters, including ways to earn higher potential returns, answer all of my questions with patience, and showed me what a small amount of money could turn into by the time I retire. Call the team I trust, the Trajan team, at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Your first appointment is free. Trajan is a fiduciary, always acting in our best interest. Their financial experts don't work on commission. My ears definitely perked up when I heard that. Call today and learn more. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
The soundtrack of summer.
Some memories last forever.
A cow says.
Some memories thrill.
This is a roller coaster.
Some memories chill.
Listen to the lemon shake-up.
And new memories are waiting at your Indiana State Fair. Presented by Get Prepared Indiana. Save now on discounted tickets.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, an independent American Standard Platinum customer care dealer. Jim Scott is the owner, and he's ready to take his success into Boone and Hamilton counties.
We have a lot of high-quality equipment. We do high-quality jobs. We do our own duct fabrications. We have service contracts. So with the value that we built because of our 5-star rating, the other counties, as much growth as there is, there's just not enough contractors.
Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning, 765-601-1461. Jim's is your trusted local independent American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Bill Estes Ford is your neighborhood truck dealer. And right now, during the Ford Summer Sales Event, we've got an amazing deal you won't want to miss. 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. That's 3 big zeros, which adds up to 0 excuses not to drive home in a new Ford today. Every day is truck day. Go anywhere, do anything in a new F-150, starting at just $46,295. Bill Estes Ford. Online at BillEstesFord.com.
Stock BFP 250444. Always see dealer for details.
Stay on your home court with Franciscan Health's top-rated cardiac heart care. No traveling, no waiting. Just award-winning heart care right where you live. Rated #1 in Indiana 2 years in a row for cardiology and cardiac care by Health Grades, Franciscan Health offers first-in-the-world treatments, cutting-edge technology, and unmatched compassion. Because we believe every heartbeat is extraordinary. Don't sit on the sidelines with heart trouble. Schedule a same-day cardiology appointment today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed, a program presented by the Attorney General's office here in Indiana. Hoosiers reuniting with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. Fast, easy, and free to search at indianaunclaimed.gov. I believe Guy Relford, who's filling in for Hammer, has had some success with indianaunclaimed.gov.
Absolutely, I have. In fact, I messaged the Attorney General and said thank you for this program. I recently got a check from Indiana Unclaimed for just over $2,500, and most of that, as we were talking about off the air,
went to flowers for your wife?
Well, hold on. That assumes my wife knew about that.
Well, if she didn't know about it, she does now.
Predictably, I may have actually bought a gun with
that.
Yeah. But I messaged the Attorney General directly, and I said, thanks so much. This is mostly from a old bank account. When I was like literally a teenager cutting grass for money in Carmel, opened up a little account at a bank that no longer exists, and I had like, I don't know, $100 or $150 that sat in there for 180 years since I was a teenager, and that was most of it.
$2,500.
Well, that was most. It was like 1,800 of it.
Wow!
Yeah. But I had some other little things here and there that you go on there and you search for it, and you use your name
easy.
and
I've gotten money from
boom. It's your money. That's the thing. Just as they advertise. But no, I told the Attorney General I'd be glad to be another spokesperson for him because I'm $2,500 better off. Well, as it turns out, I'm one really very nice gun better off for it.
Nice. After last weekend's, do you know about this Kiss Cam scandal in Boston at the Coldplay concert?
Yes.
With the tech CEO and his head of HR, and they're embracing, and they do the Kiss Cam at the concert, and the CEO is like they're both married to different people. I don't know. I don't know what the relationship status is, but the CEO like ducks down, and the HR lady turns around. So Coldplay, the lead singer Chris Martin, is now giving a heads up to crowds at his concerts, and this was him. I believe this was Saturday night in Madison, Wisconsin.
We'd like to say hello to some of you in the crowd. How we're going to do that is we're going to use our cameras and put some of you on the big screen. So please, if you haven't done your makeup, do your makeup now.
And then the guy, the CEO, resigned.
Oh yeah, sure did.
From the company, I believe it's called Astronomer. It's some sort of tech,
software
AI company.
Yeah.
And they put out a statement. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability. And recently, that standard was not met. Is this anything at all to you?
Well, it is. It is
did he
because
deserve to? He was essentially fired. He resigned, but he embarrassed the company.
Well, it's turned into the biggest thing on the internet since the Haktua girl, which, by the way, we won't go into. But I mean, it's absolutely huge. And in fact, I even made a meme that I put out on my social media, which I took the screenshot where, right at the beginning of the kiss cam when it zooms in on them, and the guy's got his arms around her, standing behind her, and around her waist more or less, and I said it's a sad day when you get fired from your.
And the word's still out on the HR lady who knows. I think she's on leave too. But here's a tribute to the Coldplay Kiss Cam controversy from an all-new epic Hammer and Nigel record selection.
Me and my girlfriend were singing. Both of us had done a little drinking. Then they turned the stadium lights on. Everyone saw us on the Jumbotron. Once the king of quarterly gain. Now I'm walking in public shame. I'm the cheating slob who just had to quit his job.
There you go. From Hammer and Nigel Records on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The deals at Andy Moore Ford just keep on coming. The red, white, and new sales event. Get independence from car payments with no payments for 3 months and enjoy your freedom in the new Ford F-150 Super Crew or that absolutely amazing Ford Mustang with 0% APR financing for 48 months. Save $15,000. That's $15,000 off MSRP on new 2024 F-150s or Expeditions, or buy a new Ford Super Duty truck for under $40,000. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield is your spot for all the Super Duty trucks. They've got 175 trucks to choose from right there on the lot at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. And with more to your door, simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it to your door. Andy Moore Ford, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's MOHR.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Heat is expected by midweek. Right now, you've got a cloudy sky, and it's 83 degrees in the Circle City. I'm Jake McDaniel, and this report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 4:32. It's not just the heat, though. It's the humidity. Jason Puma with the National Weather Service says what is expected.
Tuesday through Thursday, it's really going to be dominated by increasing heat and humidity. On Tuesday, we're going to see high temperatures near 86. On Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have highs in the low 90s with increasing increased humidity.
Storm chances return Thursday night with better rain chances Friday and Saturday. Highs over the weekend will remain in the upper 80s to near 90, with storm chances continuing into Sunday. The actor who played Theo in The Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner, has died from asphyxia. He drowned off the coast of Costa Rica while he was with family on vacation. Warner also was in several other shows like Malcolm and Eddie and Read Between the Lines. Harvard University and the Trump administration are in a legal showdown because the government slashed billions in federal funding for the university. Fox's Lauren Green has more.
Harvard University lawyers appeared in federal court arguing that the administration illegally cut $2.6 billion in federal funding. The university's legal team says the government is violating its First Amendment rights. Now, the government lawyers countered that the school did not comply to ensure the safety of Jewish students on campus during pro-Palestinian protests. The Trump administration laid out a series of sweeping changes back in April in a letter to the school. It refused and filed a lawsuit. Trump calling the judge in the case a total disaster.
And the same judge is also hearing Harvard's separate lawsuit against the Trump administration for canceling student visas. A ruling on the funding case is expected by September. When any prosecutor or judge doesn't hold criminals accountable, State Representative Andrew Ireland argues that doesn't just affect local municipalities, it affects the whole state. This weekend, he told Indy Politics,
the reality is that a prosecutor is actually a state officer. They're not a local government function. They're paid for directly by the state. State tax dollars pay Ryan Mears' salary today.
He's speaking about Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears. Ireland wants there to be legislation to make impeachment a possibility for judges and prosecutors who don't do their jobs properly. It's time for your WIBC Closing Bell Report. At the closing bell today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 19 points to 44,323. The S&P 500 gained 8 points to 6,305. And the NASDAQ rose 78 points to 20,974. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:35.
I've had my Window Nation windows installed for a couple of years now, and my air conditioner is no longer working overtime in the summer. These are the dog days of summer, but if your windows are old and drafty, time for some new Window Nation windows. Check it out, 50% off all window styles plus 0 interest for 5 whole years. All the details at windownation.com.
And when Window Nation comes out to your house, they are bringing the best of the best. A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and their staff, years of experience. And look, when we have a heat wave like we had recently, I think you understand how important it is to have good windows that keep the blistering hot out and your perfect climate inside. 50% off all window styles. Any style at all, 0 interest until 2030. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Jake, checking out this crash on the northwest side. It's northbound 465 at 865, and 2 right lanes are blocked. This was a big crash, at least 6 cars involved. Traffic stopped back to 79th Street, delay at 16 minutes. Inbound 69, slow before 96, 282nd. Inbound 65, stop and go after 21st to Meridian Penn. Southbound 65, 70 jam. North split to the south split because of construction. Eastbound 70, delayed 5 minutes. Harding Street to the south split, and on the west side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic before 74 down to West 21st Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com. Visit DrexelIN.com for your free interior design or visit their showrooms today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We're tracking a partly cloudy and cooler Monday night with lows falling into the mid-60s. They are in for a warmer yet slightly less humid Tuesday with lots of sunshine and no rain in sight for tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s. But by the time we get to Wednesday, the middle of the work week, it's going to be miserable with highs back at the low 90s. But with high dew point values in the mid-70s, it will feel closer to the triple digits at times. Heat alerts are likely by then. I'm Wish TV Storm Track ABD meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is out. Guy Relford is in. Successful, peaceful weekend in downtown Indianapolis. WNBA All-Star Weekend along with Black Expo. Here is a social media post from IMPD Chief Chris Bailey from, I think this was like about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Quote, once again, no children were brought into our safe and secure location last night. He's talking about the curfews there. Huge thanks to parents, guardians, family members, and our incredible community partners who helped staff the site all weekend. This is what community looks like. This is for our kids. On the hotline right now, Chief Chris Bailey. Chief, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
I got to tell you, first of all, before we get into this weekend, man, I know you guys, you and your officers work hard overtime. The recruiting numbers could be better. Please tell me, at some point, are you allowed to take a vacation? Like, are you allowed to just blow off some steam? Because every time I see you, it's on TV at 3 o'clock in the morning at some incident, and we had a great weekend this weekend. So just like you and your officers do take vacations and blow off steam, right?
Well, yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, just because it's you,
yeah,
I'm calling you right now from my vacation because it's important to talk to you.
Oh,
so
my
yeah,
gosh.
I took my family out to the mountains, and we're having a good time. So yeah, we got away, but
now you're making me feel bad. I'm interrupting.
No, feel bad. I got a nice ice cold cup of water right here with me.
Okay, there you go. All right. Quote, cup of water, wink, wink. I got it, Chief.
Right here. It's delicious. Nice hike today to a waterfall. Kids swim in there. It was a good day.
Right on. You deserve it, and your officers deserve it. And I want to know, just maybe tell me about over the weekend the changes that were made from, say, the 4th of July and the changes you've seen and what happened this weekend with the WNBA weekend and Black Expo in downtown Indianapolis.
Well, I think what resonated most was the messaging, right? I mean, I think that if I could go back to prior and July 3rd or before that and have a strong message about kids and parental responsibility, that maybe we could have avoided some of the things that we saw on July 4th. But, we had a lot of cops down there, and the cops were right there. They were dealing with another incident just, a little bit away from where these shots fired occurred, and they were chasing their tail all night that night. And, over the last couple weekends after, the message was out, not just for me, but I think the message resonated with our parents and community leaders and politicians and, everyone that said, hey, look, maybe there's some responsibility here to make sure I know where my kids are. And so the last 2 weekends, it's been pretty, there's been no kids. And I worked all those nights. I did not work this Saturday night, but the messages that I got is that there just weren't kids out there. And I think that's because of some of the messaging that we put out, and that we were going to take a hard stance on illegal behavior, and that if the kids were out and they were engaged in behavior they shouldn't have been, then we were going to take them to our safe and secure site and have the parents come for wherever they are, inconvenience them to come down and get their child and get them home so that they're alive on Sunday morning.
And Chief Bailey, this is Guy. I congratulate you and the whole IMPD personnel really for what was obviously a great success this weekend. And I stuck around downtown after my show on Saturday, which ends pretty early at 7 o'clock. But I stuck around downtown and I was in the 1 mile square and walked around downtown. I don't think I've ever seen a police presence, and I mean including the Super Bowl and NCAA championships, and I've been here for all of it. I don't know that I've seen a police presence like I saw Saturday night, and it was IMPD out in force. I saw police officers on four-wheelers. I saw a lot of police officers on bicycles. I saw a lot on foot patrol, and it was just really, really impressive because they were there. They were present. And everybody seemed to respect what they were doing. Everybody seemed to be cordial. Everybody seemed so incredibly well behaved. And it was like something I don't know that I've ever seen in downtown Indianapolis, and it was very comforting. But my immediate question was, is that sustainable with the number? And I have no idea what the numbers were. It was impressive because it was a lot. But is that sustainable? I mean, how much is that going to be different from a typical summer Saturday night in downtown Indianapolis?
Yeah, because it was an event and we knew it was coming. It's been, a long time planning. We canceled the days off, both Friday and Saturday, for our officers. So our ability to put a large number of people for events downtown is something that we've been used to for a long period of time. The answer to that is no. It's not sustainable every single weekend.
Yeah,
it is absolutely not. You talked about vacation and time off. Our cops already have a difficult time doing that now, getting their time, relaxing with their families, unwinding, doing those things, just because of the daily grind that we find ourselves in and the number of officers that we're short right now. So no, the answer to that is no. But every year for the last several years, we run what's called special event teams downtown. It's all overtime, close to probably $2 million a year just in overtime to staff that, to take care of the canal, and mostly that South Meridian Street, that 200, 300 block of South Meridian Street, which has a high concentration of bars and nightclubs that really are the most, in my opinion, the juveniles are one thing, but that high concentration of bars in such a small geographic area that is more problematic for us. That, one person drunk comes out of the bar at 2:30 in the morning, tries to get a hot dog on a hot dog court, bumps into somebody, then we have, a bunch of mess that happens down there. So I've been very vocal about those issues down there, and we got rid of several problem bars, but now we're starting to see some other ones creep back in, and we're going to have to do some things like we did a few years ago to try to send the message that you come downtown, you have a good time, and then you leave. These unregulated food distribution,
the food trucks.
The food trucks.
Yeah, I keep on hearing about the food trucks. What is that? Yeah. And is that a new thing? Is that a problem?
Yeah, I mean, they've started showing up down there, and I think that the party atmosphere that we created during the NBA playoffs really has just continued, where we can party on the streets, in the parking lots, on the sidewalks. We can't get into bars because maybe they're full. That's what happened during the playoffs. But now I'm not 21, so I can't get in there anyway. I'm 18. I can't get in, so I'm just going to hang out and party, smoke my weed in the parking lot, and get drunk in the parking lot. So, and then, at the end of the night, sidewalks start getting cramped. Nobody wants to leave. The party wants to continue out there. And, that's when we have our fights and our disturbances and all that. So we got to get a handle on those things. And if I have to bag every parking meter on Meridian Street for the rest of the summer, I'll do it. But I've asked the council to entertain finally regulating the food truck industry, because I'm not even sure anybody's checking to see what the kitchens are like in those things.
Yeah, separate question. Chief, a question, and it's something I've talked about a little bit on my show on weekends and on social media, but you mentioned the safe and secure locations, and for folks who haven't heard this, as I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if kids are violating curfew, then they can be detained, they can be taken to that safe and secure location, they can have their parents come get them. Realizing a lot of the problems that we've seen downtown where we've had shootings and whatnot are juveniles with firearms, something that I just don't know. And it's just an open-ended question. If when kids are stopped for curfew violations and they're taken to those safe and secure locations, are they frisked in a way? In other words, if one of those kids violating curfew is illegally carrying a gun, and I would think that the IMPD personnel, for their own safety, would have an incentive and according to the Supreme Court legal right to frisk those kids to make sure the officer's being safe and transporting them to the safe and secure location. Are those kids frisked? Are they searched? Can you find illegal weapons as part of that process?
Yes, they are. When they're in our custody, they go on a complete search. We don't put anybody in our police vehicles without being searched and secured. And then when we get them to the site, if there was, we don't plan on running this site every weekend. The community partners don't have the capacity. We don't have the capacity to do it every weekend, but for major events, we go in there. If the kid's behaving, then we would, take them off, and they could interact with the community partners until their parents get there. So that, yes, they're absolutely searched. And there's a difference between the curfew violation. What the order is to my officers is it's strict accountability. If there's a crime being committed, take action and take that kid or adult to the adult detention center or to the youth services center for the criminal charge.
And along those same lines, if they are found with a gun, that is a criminal charge.
Yes.
And so they can. That kid is not in custody for a curfew violation. Now they're in custody for unlawful possession of a firearm by a juvenile, and they can be taken. And that at that point does become the jurisdiction of the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, although they may go through the juvenile system, of course. But now that is a criminal offense at that point. You agree with me on that?
Yes, they wouldn't go to the safe site. They would go straight to the youth services center for processing.
IMPD
on
Chief,
the criminal charge.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey. Last thing before we let you get back to your vacation. I didn't know you were on vacation. I feel horrible. Oh my gosh,
no,
you're calling
okay.
us from your vacation.
No, it's all right.
The FOP put out a statement praising praising you. They mentioned you by name and praising of course the IMPD. I know there was some tension last week with FOP President Rick Snyder. I have immense respect and admiration for both you and Rick, and I just want to know. It's like I know a kid wants to know his mom and dad, or like I want to know things are good with you guys, and I just overall, just overall.
Yes, I mean the people are going to disagree. That's okay. That's one of the problems with our country right now is that people think that you can't have a different opinion and still be friends and still work together. So Rick and I are working closely to try to do some things to help improve the morale and working conditions of our officers right now as we speak, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have something nailed down on that. Now, Rick has a job to do, and he does it, and I have a job to do. I'll do it, and that's perfectly fine. But I also, back to the statement, I don't deserve any of the credit. The credit goes to the officers, the parents, the community people that stepped up and did the work. I just ran my mouth. They do the work every single day, and for that, I'm super proud of them. And how about the knuckleheads on the circle selling the alcohol to our undercover and had 4 guns and 1 stolen? Did you see that? I mean, how dumb? I don't understand, but
at least
that's great police work.
Yeah,
that wasn't planned. Our cops were down there, like Guy said, doing their thing. Good. And took an opportunity to interdict and interrupt criminal behavior right in the core of our
awesome
city.
Hey, Chief, we'll let you get back to vacation, man. I am almost mortified that I texted you and you agreed to call in and do this on your vacation with your family. So enjoy the rest of it and have a great week.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, take care. All right, bye-bye.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
And if you're like me, you're not climbing up on your roof to check for damage. That's why you call Moss Roofing. Family owned. Right here in central Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you something hard to find these days. Honest work and peace of mind. They offer free inspections, and I mean a real thorough checkup of your roof, your siding, your gutters, and your windows. If there's storm damage, they'll show you the photos, explain everything clearly and thoroughly, and even work with your insurance company for you. No stress, no pressure, just real professionals doing the job right every single time. Protect your home and avoid bigger problems later. Call Moss Roofing today, 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Family owned, Moss Roofing, 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them.
Indiana and across the Midwest. And don't miss our home-style fried chicken, scratch-made bakery, and a deli packed with ready-to-go favorites. Got a sweet tooth? Check out a variety of old-fashioned candies, the kind that brings back sweet memories from your childhood. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about local freshness, friendly faces, and food that feels like home. Wilson Farm Market. That's Wilson Farm Market.
America respects our first responders and veterans, the brave whose business is taking action when calamity strikes. It's dangerous work, often surrounded by sirens, shouting, even gunfire, so hearing loss is probable. First responders can turn to Relay Indiana. If you have trouble hearing on the telephone, visit RelayIndiana.com for voice recognition technology phones that allow the hearing impaired to have normal phone conversations. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Get clarity back on the phone. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
Buying a diamond has changed. There are mined and lab-grown diamonds. Pierce Jewelers carries both. Pierce can educate you and save your hard-earned money. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
The Attorney General's Office, reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every week. Visit IndianaUnclaimed.gov or text Hammer and Nigel to 46220 today.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
Less than 3 weeks until the golf outing powered by Franciscan Health. Join us Thursday, August 7th at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin for a perfect day on the course with your crew. Easy swings, cold drinks, and good vibes. Spots are going fast at 1075thefan.com.
Matt Bear, what's going on?
Nigel, east side Lawrence, northbound 465 at East 56. Breakdown blocking the right lane, slowing us down back to I-70. Southbound 465 on the east side, stop and go 70 down to Washington Street. Looking at eastbound 70 from the south, split 6-minute delay back to Harding Street. Inbound 65, stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn. And we're delayed 10 minutes on southbound 6570 from the north, split down to the south, split south side. Eastbound 465, stop and go after 31 to I-65. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com. Visit DrexelIN.com for your free interior design or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
84 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. FOP President Rick Snyder coming up next. Went long with Chief Bailey, so we'll get Rick on the phone and talk a little bit more about what went down in Indianapolis over the weekend. We'll be back. I can't tell you how much I love the job Galaxy Concrete Coatings did with my garage floor. They took just an old, decrepit, unmaintained, cracked, stained, dirty garage floor and turned it into something brand new within a day. My Galaxy Concrete garage floor coating is out of this world. They did such a great job with my garage floor. I had them back in a couple of weeks ago to do the concrete floor in my utility room in my basement. Now it's actually a place I want to spend some time in. So whether it's your garage, basement, pool deck, any indoor, outdoor area concrete, check out GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or give them a call, 751-9070, and tell them Nigel sent you.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family-owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch-resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas, too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit PremierDeckCoating.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, save an extra 25% off all in-stock outdoor furniture. Sleep up to 10 degrees cooler and the lowest price guaranteed on every mattress. And save up to 50% off Lazy Boy, Smith Brothers, Flex Steel, and lift chairs. Plus, we pay your sales tax and deliver it all for free. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
History returns with the Brickyard 400 at the famed 2.5-mile oval, celebrating NASCAR's roots at the racing capital of the world. Brickyard weekend starts Thursday, July 24th with the Indiana Sprint Week race, with sprint cars running on the IMS dirt track for the first time ever. Saturday, July 26th, get ready for action with the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250. Then Sunday, July 27th, the NASCAR Cup Series Brickyard 400, presented by PPG, returns to the oval of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Buy now and save at IMS.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, this is Zach from Ingledow Tree Experts. When it comes to the health and beauty of your trees, trust Ingledow Tree Experts. Our certified arborists ensure your trees are trimmed, removed, and cared for with precision. Summer is the perfect time to schedule fall pruning. Call now for your free estimate and let us handle the hard work. 317-903-0102 or visit ingledowtreeexperts.com for more information. Ingledow Tree Experts, where your trees come first.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Raids are being sent home as the city's mayor calls again for a full withdrawal.
LA Mayor Karen Bass says there's nothing for the military to do in the city, stressing it's been roughly a month since any protest devolved into problems, and saying 60% of those detained by ICE have no criminal record.
Nobody's defending that you shouldn't remove people who are violent or rapists or in cartels. That hasn't been the issue. But I have always had a hard time believing that the woman standing selling pineapples is a hardened criminal. Are the people who were gardeners or landscapers?
The Pentagon is releasing the 700 Marines deployed to the city during unrest over ICE raids, saying their presence was instrumental in restoring order.
Fox's Christian Goodwin, about half of the 4,000 National Guard members deployed to L.A. remain. The Trump administration releasing records from the FBI's surveillance of Martin Luther King Jr. They'd been under a court-imposed seal for decades. A statement from King's family asks that the files be viewed with empathy and in their full historical context, adding that they support transparency but object to any attacks on King's legacy or efforts to undermine the achievements of the civil rights movement. A federal judge in Boston hearing arguments in a Harvard lawsuit accusing the Trump administration of illegally freezing nearly $3 billion in federal funding.
The university's legal team says the government is violating its First Amendment rights. Now, the government lawyers counter that the school did not comply to ensure the safety of Jewish students on campus during pro-Palestinian protests. The Trump administration laid out a series of sweeping changes back in April in a letter to the school. It refused and filed a lawsuit.
Fox's Lauren Green. America is listening to Fox News.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Presidential pressure on an NFL team to change their name again.
President Trump is threatening to block a stadium deal between the Washington Commanders and D.C. officials if the team does not return its name to the Redskins.
The president was serious, and as part of the art of the deal, part of his negotiating skills, as you know, sports is one of the many passions of this president, and he wants to see the name of that team changed.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump gets involved in a range of issues his predecessors have not. It's unclear what steps the president could take. Congress approved legislation last year transferring the site of the former RFK Stadium back to D.C. control as part of a proposal to build a new stadium for the franchise. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The president also calling on Cleveland's baseball team to go from Guardians back to Indians. Both teams made a change after increasing public pressure over names and imagery considered offensive to Native Americans. He's best known as Theo Huxtable, the teenage son for...
Summer's in full swing, so come get that hot summer deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, plus 0% for 72 months. Or lease a new 2025 Lincoln Corsair for just $499 per month at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $110,425. Corsair MSRP $53,915. $3,500 due at lease signing. 0 security deposit. 36 months. 10,500 miles per year. Offers good through 7/31/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Why do so many foundation, basement, and crawl space companies ask for half your money up front? Could it be because that's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they believe trust is earned, not demanded. That's why they do things differently. They start with a free inspection, no strings attached, to give you an honest assessment of what your home needs. No pressure, no surprises. When it's time for the work, they don't ask for a deposit or any upfront payment. Not a single dollar until the job is complete and you're 100% satisfied. That's how they've been earning trust for over 39 years. Whether it's sagging floors, moisture control, concrete repair, or a full crawl space encapsulation, you can count on Michaelis for repairs that last. Don't trust just anyone with your home. Choose the company that puts your trust first. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY today. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation, building trust beneath your feet.
All right, checking the east side, northbound 465 after Pendleton Pike. There is a stall that's slowing us down back to I-70. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic 21st to the north split, then southbound 65-70 stopped from the north split down to the south split for a 3-minute delay. On the northeast side, inbound 69 slows before 96th Street to 82nd. Eastbound 465 on the north side, slow roll from 865 over to Ditch Road. And northbound 465, the crash did cleared. I-865 still slow back to 86th Street. North of Bloomington, northbound 69 about a mile and a half before the Sample Road interchange. That is a crash slowing us down for about a mile and a half. Traffic sponsored by Great Lakes Honda of Fishers. Honda of Fishers is now Great Lakes Honda of Fishers under new ownership. Visit them just off State Road 37 for special grand opening prices during their summer sales event. Great Lakes Honda of Fishers. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I'm Jake McDaniel, and this is your WIBC weather report. As of now, it is 83 degrees and cloudy here at the WIBC studios. Tonight, expect mostly cloudy skies, highs in the mid to upper 70s. By midweek, the state may feel some heat and humidity. Forecasters say from the National Weather Service, storm chances may return Thursday night, and rain chances are likely Friday and Saturday as well. And then highs over the weekend are expected to be in the upper 80s to the near 90s, and storm chances are possible to continue into Sunday. I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Should I just start?
So let's rock!
Some technical difficulties here in the WIBC studios. That's okay. I'm Nigel. Guy Relford in for Hammer. And we'll get right to it and go to the WIBC hotline and bring on Rick Snyder, president of the Indy FOP. Rick, we read your statement the FOP put out earlier on in the show. Could you maybe just kind of reset the statement, the gist of that, and the your 30,000 foot perspective on the peaceful weekend downtown with the WNBA All-Star Game and all the events surrounding the game and Black Expo.
Yeah, guys, I think what you read and what the weekend showed us, and I think what you've been covering throughout your show today, is that a high visibility police presence matters. And that's what we have been making clear consistently for the last several years. But you also have to combine it with good accountability and consequences for criminal behavior, and that has to be clearly articulated and clearly understood. And that's why we said we keep pointing back to this back to basics community policing model. Listen, the chief alluded to it, but we're working on a couple of different things. We talk about high visibility presence. It's no secret we have limited staffing, significant shortages. But the chief and his staff and I and our executive board at the FOP, we're diligently working on something such as an alternative work schedule that would allow us to overlap our limited staffing at peak demand times and be able to provide that high visibility presence, not just downtown, but also in our neighborhoods. And I'm hopeful that we'll have some commitments on that by the fall. But guys, we also support strong community policing models. We believe in the EPIC community policing model, EPIC. E stands for education, educating our neighborhood partners about what it is that we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. P for prevention. That means going in and tackling dilapidated, vacant houses, addressing flooding issues in the neighborhood, and helping to clean up the neighborhood. I is for intervention. When it's needed, it has to be strong, swift, and certain. But because you're working in the neighborhood and with your fellow neighborhood associations and residents, they're supporting you because they know what you're doing. And C is for community collaboration. I can't think of a better example than the 10-Point and
Yes.
Reverend Charles Harrison
Yes.
and what they did this weekend. But listen, guys, the reason why we advocated so hard for them to be put back in the equation is because Charles Harrison and myself, in uniform, doing police work, did this EPIC community policing model, and here's what we found out. It works. And this weekend proved that it can be done, it should be done. But guys, here's the ultimate question. Why can't this be done in neighborhoods across the city on a regular basis? And you asked the chief, is this sustainable? I would say it can be scaled. And that's what our focus needs to be upon. We have to remember the people behind the blinds in the neighborhoods. And we're not talking about policing where we say our success is determined by how many arrests we make or how many tickets we write. Our metric should be how many kids are playing outside again? How many are in the parks enjoying themselves in safety? Are the quality of life issues being addressed? Are things like lighting, which is the #1 crime preventer, being addressed? These are the things that we can do when we're all pulling in the same direction.
And Rick, this is Guy. You know, something that I've been talking about, and I was really happy to get the opportunity to talk to Chief Bailey about, is the idea that enforcing the curfew downtown also results in a situation where detained juveniles can be legally searched, and unlawfully possessed firearms can be then taken from those juveniles, and to the extent that they're then committing a crime as opposed to an ordinance violation for violating curfew, then not only does that gun come off the street, but those juveniles who are unlawfully in possession of firearms can also be prosecuted. Isn't that something that should be a tool that is used in downtown Indianapolis to address the problem of juveniles illegally possessing guns?
That's what's called proactive, problem-oriented policing.
Yeah.
The reason why you've heard of that before is because it works. It's been successful. The reason why it's so challenging now is because you have individuals like the Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears, who has spent more time telling you what crimes he won't prosecute versus the ones that he will. Guys, I just went through all those community policing things that we're pointing to. We're not just pointing to problems, we're pointing to solutions. But let me give you the quick rundown of how Ryan Mears compares to those things, if I can, real quick, because I think it's important for your audience to hear. The very first thing Ryan Mears did was dismantle the neighborhood prosecutors who were prosecutors working on every district in IMPD alongside our police. They were there on a day-to-day basis to address those quality of life issues, like illegal dumping, helping with the homeless, aggressive panhandling, criminal trespass issues, and juvenile crime curfew and probation sweeps. Wouldn't it make sense that you're working together in partnership? But the first thing he did was rip them out of the neighborhoods. He also immediately removed his prosecutors from the 24-hour adult processing center. We've advocated to go back to that model because by pulling those prosecutors out, we have this issue where these repeat offenders are getting these low or no bonds, cycle back into the neighborhood, and it's causing the violent offenders to be released because the prosecutor isn't filing timely paperwork. And then finally, Ryan Mears opposed enhancing laws to charge juveniles as adults that he now uses when he's saying, when he's now having to charge them because they committed murder. That's when he then puts on his Billy Badass shtick in front of everybody. And that's what we say is wearing thin with our cops and our victims. But guys, here's the kicker. He just recently, last year, flip-flopped and has called for tougher penalties in the ability to charge juveniles as adults as young as 12 years of age for things like school threats and other acts of violence. So which is it? That's the question. And what I think you've seen is, in his press conference, he just simply comes out and uses words to distract and deflect from his failures and what the real issues are. And that is what has to change. And we thank Governor Braun for putting the spotlight on this prosecutor and also putting a spotlight on the need for change to occur.
Yeah, that was my next question about the governor and the state to intervene in some of these local county issues, and that's something you support.
Well, guys, I told you, your criminal justice system, specifically in Marion County, has been hijacked. I know I've used that term, and people say, well, what do you mean by that? I'm going to give you one more example, and this is where the state needs to drill in on this. Ryan Mears supported and partnered with groups like the Bell Project. Do you remember them?
Oh, yeah.
They were the charitable Bell organization that was found to be having taxpayer dollars funneled to it in Indianapolis. And politicians like Ryan Mears then fled from the group as the scheme started to get uncovered. Several people were killed, critically injured, and victimized by offenders out on bond, having association with that group. And then the Bell Project fled Indy once the spotlight was put on them and their government subsidies dried up. But here is the ultimate kicker. Ryan Mears is still linked with an organization called the Vera Project, the Vera Foundation. There's a great thing called Google. Look it up. He is one of only 6 prosecutors in the nation right now to be receiving money from that group to focus on things like, listen to this, diversion instead of incarceration, making decisions about filing criminal charges based on things like race and socioeconomic status. Let that sink in for a second. Your prosecutor is deciding whether or not to file criminal charges, not based on the facts of the case or the allegations being made, but based on race and socioeconomic status, and he calls that equitable justice. What the hell is that? And then finally, guess what? Guess who the founder of the Vera Foundation, the Vera Institute is? It's the exact same guy who began the Manhattan Bell Project. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Wow. Hey, Rick, here's a question. You mentioned Reverend Harrison, and listen, he's been on my show multiple times. I've had a lot of offline conversations with him, and I have unlimited amount of respect for what the work he does and the 10-Point Coalition does. And one thing I've heard from him is that the Hogsett administration seems to be giving him the stiff arm, and the 10-Point Coalition, they tend to be very standoffish with that administration, and I can't understand that. Do you have any explanation for why the Hogsett administration doesn't embrace Reverend Charles Harrison and the 10-Point Coalition, and in fact, not only encourage but support the efforts that the 10-Point Coalition does so well here in Indianapolis?
Yeah, here's why we're inconvenient for the politicians in charge, because we remember and we have receipts. The first thing that happened when Mayor Hogsett came into office and this current city-county council leadership, when it switched to the Democratic caucus, the first thing the council did was remove crime prevention grant dollars from the control of the mayor and placed it back under the council. And then they immediately ejected groups like 10-Point and Reverend Charles Harrison from the equation because they put politics above people. I can't explain it. That's for them. But interestingly enough, that same council is now scrambling for some kind of way out, some kind of outlet to get out from underneath this boondoggle that they're in. And even in this last public safety committee in the public assembly room, Guys, I stood there and pointed out to them that we've been talking about this for years, and they have failed to take action. I also want to remind you that in that same council meeting, because Nigel, I've heard you that this is a major concern of yours, but I also turned, you can go back and play it, but I made clear that I and our FOP are fully supportive of what Chief Bailey, Assistant Chief Wally, the work that they are doing in the direction that they are going. But I want to make clear, when he uttered those words of begging our folks to not commit crime, I think he would not use that word if he had it to do over again. It was important for us to make sure that we promptly address that and brush off the plate the city county councilors so that they wouldn't continue to go down that road of this hug-a-thug mentality and saying that we're just going to love up on you and somehow that's going to make a criminal violent offender change course. This was the time to be tough, swift, and certain. Thankfully, we did that, and our community benefited from it, not just locally, but in the national spotlight. We should all be grateful for that. Nigel, you said it was like mom and dad, and are they getting along? Yeah. I just want to make clear, if we're going to use that example, I'd be the dad in that equation.
Okay. Hey, Rick, what? Rick, one more thing. We're speaking with Rick Snyder, President, FOP here in Indy. And it's kind of nothing to do with anything here, but I want to talk about recruiting and morale just real quick. How can we fix the problem of recruiting and retention of talent? How's the recruiting going? Is it getting any better? We need more of you guys on the street.
I think we're going to make significant strides if we convert over to this alternative shift schedule. It's a win-win. I think it attracts not just new recruits, brand new people to the profession, but I think it's going to be a game changer for us to go out and compete and, quite frankly, steal those existing seasoned officers from other agencies. It'll be something that would benefit them, but also benefit our city and would allow them to get after good, solid policing. The retention factor was the key. We got the contract done. That has definitely helped. Good. But as the chief alluded to, we're wearing our people thin. We're wearing them out. So that's why we've got to keep a decentralized police force. We got to make sure that every officer stays with their highly specialized, customized equipment, can respond at the drop of a hat from all corners of the central Indiana region, and be able to provide that solid policing professionalism that our community expects and they deserve.
Rick Snyder, Indy FOP President, thank you so much. And as always, God bless you. God bless your guys. And let them know we appreciate what they're doing in our city, Rick. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, guys. Be blessed.
Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
Southbound 6570 downtown stopped from the north split down to Fletcher Avenue, then slow into the south split. Inbound 65 stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 stop and go Harding into the south split, delayed 4 minutes. On the north side, westbound 465 slow from 31 to over to Michigan Road, and then northbound Keystone Parkway and Carmel. Stop and go traffic before 116th Street up to Maine. Traffic sponsored by Great Lakes Honda of Fishers. Honda of Fishers is now Great Lakes Honda of Fishers under new ownership. Visit them just off State Road 37 for special grand opening prices during their summer sales event. Great Lakes Honda of Fishers. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
83 and cloudy at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
The heat outside does not have to be the heat inside. Masters Heating and Cooling is here to help. I use Masters Heating and Cooling in my home. David, the general manager, and the entire Masters team take care of my family. They've replaced parts of my system, serviced parts of my system, and everything is running in tip-top condition. My house feels amazing. Right now, you can get $1,000 off a new AC system. We're talking about a full system replacement here. $100 off electric, $250 off hybrid, and $500 off tankless water heaters. Talk to Masters Heating and Cooling today. They have 0% financing for up to 60 months with qualified system purchases. Terms and conditions for all offers. Restrictions apply. Call for details. Masters Heating and Cooling. They'll take care of your HVAC and help you out 24/7. Call 317-567-9505. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-567-9505. Masters Heating and Cooling. 567-9505 or online at mastersindy.com. That's mastersindy.com.
Cardiac issues are the #1 cause of death every year. If you would like to learn about a personalized heart program that offers more than just drugs or surgery, join us for our free Holistic Integration Seminar. Holistic Heart, a holistic approach to heart health. Wednesday, July 30th at 6:30 p.m. You'll hear from Dr. Robert Prather, host of the Voice of Health Radio. Those who attend will receive our autonomic nervous system test that measures your heart function, nervous system, and circulatory system for just $49, normally a $195 value.
What's great about the ANS test, we can see things, if you're getting evaluated even by your top cardiologist, you're not getting that information.
The Holistic Integration Free Seminar, Holistic Heart, featuring Dr. Robert Prather, Wednesday, July 30th at 6:30 p.m. Reserve your seat by calling 317-848-8048 or online at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text Rocky to 369-369. That's ROCKY to 369-369. Rocky to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. It's Hammer and Nigel show. Ex-MSNBC host and certified progressive left-wing lunatic Keith Olbermann. Voice of reason. He's weighed in on whether Stephen Colbert was canceled by CBS for political reasons. And he kind of threw cold water on that theory that he was axed for his criticism of Trump. He responded to somebody on Twitter or X saying, quote, this is not him saying this is just a user. We are officially at the pulling comedians off the air who criticize our dear leader phase of fascism. All right. Colbert got canceled. The Late Show got canceled. The entire brand.
Absolutely.
And then they posted a picture of Colbert. Olbermann responds, sorry, that's not what happened here. If it had, they wouldn't be keeping him until next May. So it's not what happened here. It's how much he was making. It's how much the show was losing. It's the ratings. He was the number one out of all the guys, but all the ratings are down in terms of the night show hosts across the board.
Across the board.
Right? So what Olbermann is saying there in that specific post makes total sense. And wasn't he trolling Jim Lucas.
Oh yeah,
I'll
tell you, we got to talk about that. But beforehand, I got to tell you, I mean, it's all related. You can't say it was not for political reasons. It was because the revenues were down. Well, why are revenues down? Because viewership is down. Why is viewership down? Because America has rejected the politics that we continually see. From me, and by the way, I'm heartbroken. For somebody who grew up watching Johnny Carson and then loved watching David Letterman for the most part, I mean, and for all of Johnny Carson, it wasn't political. It was entertainment. It was fun. And the current late night hosts have changed that, and America has rejected that. And because America has rejected their politics, viewership is down, which means sponsorship is down, which means advertising revenue is down, which means they're canceled. Colbert lost $40 million. $40 million.
He's making $16 million a year.
That's right. And his show lost $40 million, so it's being canceled.
And then he goes on to criticize his network for paying off Trump with the CBS and the Kamala Harris editing on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
He criticizes his own network and then is surprised when he gets fired.
And then make no mistake, if you'd have made $40 million rather than lost $40 million, you'd be there and you'd be fine and you could do whatever political shtick you want to do. But by the way, when you asked me about with him trolling Jim Lucas, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen on social media.
Right.
Jim Lucas in 2017, we were trying to pass constitutional carry. That was in the infancy. We were in year one of a 10-year struggle.
Yeah.
Year two of a 10-year struggle to get constitutional carry passed. And our argument was that the government shouldn't license a constitutional freedom. If you have a constitutional right to do something, you shouldn't have to have a license to exercise that right. And that was falling on deaf ears. And so Jim had an intern or somebody in legislative services put together a bill that required a professional journalist to have a license. Otherwise, they could not exercise their First Amendment rights. And had this bill, and he never introduced it. He put it out on social media, but it was a real bill.
It was a real bill, but kind of a troll, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was never a real bill in the sense that it was filed in the legislature.
I understand.
But it looked like a real bill, and he put it out on social media. And his whole point was how ludicrous it is to license a constitutional freedom. So he put it out on Twitter. Guess who? Guess who looked at that piece of bait and jumped on it like a duck on a June bug? Keith Olbermann. And he jumps on this thing.
Hook, line, and sinker. Quote, this sociopath, Indiana State Rep Jim Lucas, wants to license journalists. We need to run him out of our country.
We need to run him out of his country. Because, why? Because he wants to license a constitutional freedom. And unbeknownst to him, as a liberal wacko, he just made Jim Lucas's point. And it made Olbermann look like a complete dumbass. And it made Jim look very, very smart. And it was hilarious.
We're late here. Let's do Ask the Gun Guy. You're here.
Yes.
Let's do a couple segments of Ask the Gun Guy. You're a 2A attorney. You are a licensed firearms instructor. You are a licensed firearms expert. Let's open the phones, 239-9393. If you have a question for the gun guy, a legal question. Maybe you're in trouble. Maybe you want to have an expungement question. Maybe
or just a gun question.
A gun question or anything. 317-239-9393. Always a popular segment when you are in here filling in. If so, let's do that now. We'll open the phones, 239-9393. First, a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You've heard it's going to be hot this week. It is cloudy and 84 on Monument Circle. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 5:30. But showers are likely Thursday through Saturday, and some could get rough.
It's a little too soon to tell if any of those storms could be severe. However, this time of year, we can't rule out a severe storm, and especially with how warm and humid, it can't rule out heavier rains that could result in flooding.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the real danger is how hot it will feel. as the humidity could push temperatures to feel like they're over 100 degrees. American actor Jamal Warner has died from asphyxia. He was 54 years old, and he played in several shows, including Theo from The Cosby Show. The Trump administration has released over thousands of declassified pages about Martin Luther King Jr. Here's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
The roughly 200,000 pages of records detail FBI surveillance of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. before his assassination in 1968. President Trump has promised to release long-held government files on King, as well as the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert F. Kennedy. A 1977 court order kept the MLK records sealed, and King's two living children opposed their release, urging the files be viewed within their full historical context. Government records on JFK were released in March, and RFK files were released in April. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And impeachment is what State Representative Andrew Ireland says should be on the table for judges and prosecutors. John Herrick explains.
At the end of the day, it's not a partisan issue. It is a people issue.
That's Ireland in an interview this past weekend with Indy Politics.
I would like just to put Superior Court judges, circuit judges, prosecutors on the same level playing field as all other office holders, which is that they're liable to be impeached if they're abusing their office.
Ireland says he wants the General Assembly to draft legislation that would allow for judges and prosecutors to be impeached if they are not prosecuting criminals properly or enforcing the laws that are already on the books, something he believes is happening too often in Marion County. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You've got WIBC traffic. Here's Matt Bear.
Crash on the east side. It's eastbound 70th Sherman Drive. Two right lanes are blocked and traffic is slow through the crash site. Inbound 65 stop and go traffic 21st to Meridian padded. Southbound 6570 construction jam from the north split down to the south split, and we are delayed right now at 3 minutes. Northwest side. Northbound 465 slow after 79th up to 865. Southbound lanes tight from I-65 to West 56. Carmel, northbound Keystone Parkway, slow from 116th Street up to 126th. And inbound 69, slows 96th Street to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com. Visit DrexelIN.com for your free interior design or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now here's your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We're tracking a partly cloudy and cooler Monday night with lows falling into the mid-60s. Then we're in for a warmer yet slightly less humid Tuesday with lots of sunshine and no rain in sight for tomorrow with highs in the upper 80s. But by the time we get to Wednesday, the highs back at the low 90s, but with high dew point values in the mid-70s, it will feel closer to the triple digits at times. I'm Wish TV Storm Track ABD meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
All right, let's do it. My name is Nigel. Guy Relford, 2A attorney, in for Hammer. This is the Ask the Gun Guy segment. If you've got a question for the gun guy, gun-related, legal question about gun, whatever, 239-9393. I'll let you take over, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to join the discussion, give us a call, 317-239-9393. We'd love to get you on the air during Ask the Gun Guy. Let's go to the phone lines. We've got Josh. Josh, welcome to Ask the Gun Guy.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Good, man. You doing all right?
Pretty good. Hey, just a quick question. So I have a Kimber 1911 TLE. Had it forever. I used to carry it when I was a police officer in like a hard Kydex case, or holster, I mean. So it's pretty worn, the finishes. Who do you recommend here, like in Central Indiana, to refinish or reblue that?
Oh, I'll tell you what. My favorite gunsmith, my buddy Ethan, is at Pinnacle Firearms in Carmel.
What's he want done?
He wants a gun reblued, which is essentially refinished. And I'll tell you what, I've had a Kimber 1911 refinish before, just because I beat it up enough and wore the finish off it because I carried it for a long time. Yeah, but I mean, you know what? That's a sign that you truly love a firearm, especially with holster wear. When I see especially a classic like a 1911, and it's got holster wear on it, and a lot of people don't even want to refinish those because those are like hug marks when you're carrying in a holster.
Battle scars.
Yeah, but I'd see my buddies at Pinnacle, and listen, they've advertised on my show before. They haven't in a little bit of a while. I need to hit them up for that. But I had a past commercial relationship, so take that into consideration. But they do a great job. They've done a bunch of gunsmithing for me, and they always do a wonderful job. So I'd go to my buddies in Carmel. Let's go back to the phone lines, and Robbie has called. Robbie, welcome to Ask the Gun Guy.
Thank you. Thanks for taking my call. Thanks for everything you do for us. I have just a quick question, then I'll hang up. Which short list of surrounding states recognize and honor our constitutional carry or have reciprocity with that?
They pretty much all do. Michigan, Ohio, well, not Illinois, but Kentucky, Tennessee, all the way from here to Florida. In fact, there are 32 states, Robbie, that recognize or give reciprocity to, as we say, the Indiana license. If you want to see exactly which states those are, I keep an app on my phone. It's called CCW, and you get in your Play Store or whatever it is and search for apps. CCW, it's an outline of a gun over the United States map, and it tells you not only every state that recognizes your current license, it allows you to search for Indiana gun laws, for the gun laws of each individual state. And that's so important because just knowing, for instance, that Ohio recognizes my Indiana license, that's only the tip of the iceberg. I need to know all the other things. Like if I go into Ohio and get pulled over by the police, do I need to disclose my firearm? Can I carry into a place that serves alcohol? Can I carry into a sports stadium or a movie theater? I mean, there's just like a million different questions you need to know the answer to before you carry your gun into a particular state. And CCW has a great summary of individual gun laws in individual states that you can research. And listen, I'm a motorcycle rider. I've loved going on like cross-country motorcycle rides, and there are times I would stop at the last rest stop before I would cross a state line, and I'd get on that app and I'd check out the laws of the state I'm going into to make sure I understood. Because just because they recognize my license doesn't mean I can't get crosswise for doing something like, well, big one. For me, I enjoy a cold beer, right? So if I want to walk into a place and have a cold beer and I'm carrying my gun at the time, in Indiana, that's totally legal. In a whole bunch of states, that can send me straight to jail.
Wow.
And so I need to know those individual laws in each individual state. So that's an app. Another great resource is U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Disclosure, they used to pay me some money to teach their legal seminars. They haven't in several years, but they used to, so consider that. But I'm a member of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Their reciprocity page on their website is a great resource, and they also have state law summaries, which are also important. So I commend those to your evaluation as well. Let's go back to the phone lines, and Jim has called. Jim, welcome to Ask the Gun Guy.
Hey, guys, two questions around the implications of the big, beautiful bill on short-barreled rifles.
Yeah.
So conversion, once this bill goes into effect, or actually after the first, what will be the legal process of taking an AR pistol and converting it into a short-barreled rifle? That's question one. Question two is, since the NFA was originally intended not so much as a gun control measure, but more as a taxing measure, now that the tax has been dropped, what does the legal landscape look for that, actually the background checks and everything being overturned?
Really.
This guy, man. Our listeners are smart, man.
Jim is a brilliant guy, and he understands the gun issues. When the big, beautiful bill provisions that impacted, and what we're talking about here is to possess a short-barreled rifle or a short-barreled pistol or a suppressor, short-barreled shotgun, short-barreled rifle suppressor, which some people call a silencer, and now it's called an AOW, any other weapon, which I won't take time to explain that. But the tax to own those, which is currently $200, and they also have a separate registration process you have to go through what's called the National Firearms Act, that tax is $200. And effective January 1, the big, beautiful bill goes into effect, and it's taken that tax down to $0. So to answer your question, Jim, you still have to apply for your registration of and acceptance of your short-barreled rifle, short-barreled shotgun, or suppressor, or AOW, which means you have to fill out the Form 1 to make like a short-barreled rifle, which I've done several times, meaning you're going to take a rifle with a regular-sized barrel, a regular length barrel, 16 inches or more, and you want now a rifle with a shorter barrel. Like I have a 7.5-inch barrel. I have a 12-inch barrel. To do that, I have to file a Form 1 to make my current rifle into an SBR. Or if I want to transfer one, I just want to go to a gun store and say, yep, I want to buy that rifle with a 12-inch barrel, that's a Form 4. I still have to do all the NFA paperwork. I have to file my Form 1 or my Form 4, and I have to get approval from ATF before I can take possession of that or make it. If I'm making the NFA item, I just don't have to pay the $200 tax. So the process for doing it is exactly what the process was before. It is just $200 cheaper. Is the short answer.
Let's take a break so we have a couple minutes on the back end to take some more calls.
You bet,
cool?
absolutely.
239-9393. Ask the gun guy, Guy Relford, filling in for Hammer. I'm Nigel. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Summer's in full swing, so come get that hot summer deal at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, plus 0% for 72 months. Or lease a new 2025 Lincoln Corsair for just $499 per month at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $110,425. Corsair MSRP $53,915. $3,500 due at lease signing. Zero security deposit. 36 months. 10,500 miles per year. Offers good through 7/31/2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Look, when we're talking about real estate experts, the only one I trust here in Indy, Mark Dietl and his team. Don't take my word for it. Here's what John in Greencastle had to say. I just bought a home in Greencastle shortly after my son moved to Fishers and left me an hour away from family and 45 minutes from work. It was a mistake. I felt stuck since I had been in the home less than a year. I asked the Mark Dietl team for help, and they delivered big. My home sold in 14 days for the price I needed, and so I could move closer to family and work.
Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent that we recommend and that we trust on our show because Mark Dietl, he comes with the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That's right, he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietl today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Honda of Fishers is now Great Lakes Honda of Fishers, under new ownership, just off State Road 37. Stop by for special grand opening prices during the summer sales event.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Hammer and Nigel to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Common Threads has teamed up with the Indiana Fever to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc.
Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, is dedicated to quality and fine craftsmanship. Let them help you celebrate that special moment in your life. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Breaking news updates, local headlines, and statewide coverage are always available at WIBC.com. When the news moves fast, we will too. Stay in the know while you're on the go with WIBC.com.
Matt Bayer, what's going on?
Nigel, eastbound 70, stop and go traffic out of the north split to Sherman Drive. That's because of an earlier crash. All lanes have reopened. Cleanup continues. Delay right now is 20 minutes, but that should soften as we go. Southbound 65, 70 downtown. Jammed north split to the south split because of construction. A 5-minute delay. Southbound 65 slowing a little bit between Raymond and South Keystone Avenue. East side southbound 465 slow from Washington to 74. And a stall on northbound 465 north of Penn Pike. It's on the right shoulder. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com. Visit DrexelIN.com for your free interior design or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
83 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. I'm Nigel. Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. It's the Ask the Gun Guys segment, always popular when Guy Relford fills in. Go ahead, man. Who do you have?
Tell you what, we'll go back to the phone lines. But by the way, our last caller asked me a second question, and it's such an awesome question. It was, given the $200 taxes going away in the NFA for several different items, doesn't that undermine the constitutionality of the statute? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Lawsuits have already been filed on that exact basis, and because our caller is so damn smart, he may have predicted the fact that the NFA may go away completely.
Okay.
But I wanted to answer that before we went on. And now let's go to the phone lines, and John has called. John, welcome to Ask the Gun Guy.
Hey, now you got the dumb caller guy.
We love you too.
On a concealed carry pistol, if you replace the trigger, say, with an Apex and it's a lower poundage trigger pull, how would that play out in the court of law if you unfortunately had to use it?
That's another great question, and so I disagree with you saying that wasn't a really smart thing to ask about, because there are a lot of articles out there, there are commentators talking about if you modify your pistol, to give it a better trigger, or a lighter trigger, whatever that is, would that impact your defense if you had to use your gun to defend yourself? And then there are a lot of commentators out there. There are articles that have been written in gun magazines and whatnot that go, "Oh, don't ever modify your pistol because that'll somehow show that you were just wanting to go out and murder somebody because you modified your pistol." Listen, that's ridiculous. I've defended these cases for a lot of years. I've never seen a single case where a modification, like a lighter trigger, if you intentionally pull the trigger. Right? A guy busts my door down on my house, comes in to try to kill me, rape my wife, murder my children. Do I not have the ability to shoot him and defend myself because I put a lighter trigger in my gun? It's ridiculous.
Stupid.
It's not even going to come up. Now, separate question. If I have an accidental discharge, or what we actually call negligent discharges, because I got my finger on the trigger, gun goes off when I didn't intend for it to go off, and somebody is accidentally injured, not because I pointed the gun at him, pulled the trigger on purpose, but because I accidentally pulled the trigger. The fact that I put a lighter trigger in my gun, could that be relevant at that point? Of course it will be. And I'll factor into a negligence lawsuit against you, or theoretically a criminal recklessness prosecution. But listen, I have lighter, in fact, you mentioned an Apex trigger. I have Apex triggers in some of my guns. I'll put lighter triggers in some of my guns, and I do this for a living. So, no, that's ridiculous. If I intentionally pull the trigger, it could be a 1-pound trigger or a 40-pound trigger. It doesn't matter, because I intentionally pulled the damn trigger. And these writers out there, they're just trying to sell magazines. They're trying to sell articles, and I disagree with them fundamentally. in an intentional use of force.
60 seconds here, bud.
All right, let's go quickly to Brad. Brad, I think you're going to be it, brother. What you got for us?
All right. Hey, hypothetical questions. Let's say me and my dad trade guns, right? He bought a firearm. I bought a firearm.
Sure.
Mine was a
totally
revolver. Easy for him to shoot. He can't work his now. Now, do I need to, or do we need to register them to legally carry them in the state of Indiana?
No. In Indiana, Brad, it's a great question, brother, and a lot of people ask me this all the time. Indiana doesn't have registration. You couldn't register it if you wanted to. Some local police departments will take the information if you try to give it to them, like, hey, I own this gun. But for the most part, you walk in some police department, you walk in the state police, go, I want to register my gun. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. We don't have registration in Indiana, and you can carry any gun you lawfully are in possession of. So, if you're not a felon, you're not otherwise restricted, your dad's not, you can swap guns. Nothing else is required. Totally good to go.
An entire hour of the Hammer and Nigel show continues. Coming up next, it's me, Nigel, gun guy, Guy Relford, filling in for Hammer. We'll be back. 93 WIBC. Hey, there's really never been a better time to find out your testosterone levels. Just visit any low T center to take the test. It's fast. The results are available in about 15 minutes. And right now, the test is still free, but time is running out. So get in now before you miss your chance. Most major insurance is accepted, so treatments and costs are minimal. Taking control of your health now is easier than ever. What are you waiting for? Especially if you're constantly feeling tired and can't focus and don't have energy. It could be low T.
The Low T Center gives you the power to take control of your health. Custom dosed TRT, you could go into the facility. You could have it shipped to your home. Prescription weight loss medication, whatever you're looking for, the Low T Center has it. Guys, this is the way to take care of yourself. Book an appointment right now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com, and ask about how you could get a free test.
Indiana summer storms are rolling in, and if you're like me, you're not climbing up on your roof to check for damage. That's why you call Moss Roofing. Family owned. Right here in central Indiana for over 30 years, Moss Roofing gives you something hard to find these days: honest work and peace of mind. They offer free inspections, and I mean a real thorough checkup of your roof, your siding, your gutters, and your windows. If there's storm damage, they'll show you the photos, explain everything clearly and thoroughly, and even work with your insurance company for you. No stress, no pressure, just real professionals doing the job right every single time. Protect your home and avoid bigger problems later. Call Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Family owned, Moss Roofing. 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
History returns with the Brickyard 400 at the famed 2.5-mile oval, celebrating NASCAR's roots at the racing capital of the world. Brickyard weekend starts Thursday, July 24th with the Indiana Sprint Week race, with sprint cars running on the IMS dirt track for the first time ever. Saturday, July 26th, get ready for action with the NASCAR Xfinity Series Pennzoil 250. Then Sunday, July 27th, the NASCAR Cup Series Brickyard 400, presented by PPG, returns to the oval of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Buy now and save at IMS.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Alex Brown. Fort Wayne-based orthopedic startup BioPoly is nearing the beginning of an FDA-approved clinical trial for its partial resurfacing knee implant, which is designed for middle-aged patients who are too young for total knee replacement. CEO Herb Schwartz says the implant surface uses a biomaterial that self-lubricates and mimics cartilage.
For this type of implant in particular, the market is in the billions of dollars for the U.S. alone. So it's a very big market that's barely being tapped right now.
The first surgery under the clinical trial will take place next month. Ultimately, the startup aims to perform 150 surgeries and complete the trial at the end of 2028. The project team behind the I-69 Ohio River Crossing Project in southwest Indiana is preparing for the next stage in Evansville. Beginning today, large concrete beams will be delivered for the bridges that are part of the Evansville approach to what will be the new I-69 bridge over the Ohio River. As it continues preparations for its move to the professional soccer ranks in USL League One next year, Fort Wayne Football Club has announced the hiring of a new sporting director. Oliver Gage has joined the team after serving as director of soccer for Loudoun United in Virginia. This is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar. Because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, invest in connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures. Visit elevateventures.com.
New SAT results showed more Hoosier students meeting college readiness benchmarks in reading, but overall scores remain low. More than 81,000 Indiana high school students took the test in the last academic year. Results showed slight improvement on the SAT in both the evidence-based reading and writing and math sections. In reading and writing, the share of students scoring at or above the college-ready threshold rose to 54.5%, up from 51.8% the year before. A greater number of students continued to score in the below college-ready category for math, however. Just 25.2% of test takers earned passing scores in 2025. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Coming up at 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios. What happened over the weekend that is being investigated, how many are in trouble after what happened in several locations, and a tragedy that happened this morning here in Indianapolis. You will find out what is going on here with all this right after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it is now 6 o'clock.
I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The Trump administration has released tens of thousands of declassified pages about Martin Luther King Jr.
The roughly 200,000 pages of records detail FBI surveillance of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. before his assassination in 1968. President Trump has promised to release long-held government files on King, as well as the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert F. Kennedy. A 1977 court order kept the MLK records sealed, and King's two living children opposed their release, urging the files be viewed within their full historical context. Government records on JFK were released in March, and RFK files were released in April.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The Pentagon has ordered the 700 Marines deployed to Los Angeles last month to protect federal buildings during anti-immigration protests out of the city. The decision comes after half the National Guard troops were ordered to leave by the Pentagon last week, and after Mayor Karen Bass had called on them to leave. Harvard University challenging billions in funding cuts by the Trump administration as both sides appear in a Massachusetts court.
Inside a packed Boston courtroom, lawyers for Harvard University argued the Trump administration is forcing the school to comply with specific policy changes, including disciplining pro-Palestinian protesters. They say it violates their First Amendment rights and federal law. Harvard sued the Trump administration after it froze nearly $3 billion in federal funds. An attorney for the government argued the administration has every right to cancel the funding and says anti-Semitism and the alleged targeting of Jewish students is enough to justify the cuts. The administration also wanted the school to end certain diversity programs.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. Wall Street stocks have a mixed finish as investors look to a week of profit updates. The Dow lost 90 and the NASDAQ gained 78. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why it's important to wear your helmet. Cloudy skies and 83 degrees in downtown Indy. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 6:02. The Indiana Department of Natural Resources are looking into a crash on the northeastern side of Carroll County. It happened Sunday afternoon near a county road and Meridian Road. Randall Kessling drove an off-road vehicle, lost control, rolled over, was thrown out, and was injured. Teresa Kessling from Delphi was a passenger of the vehicle. She was taken to a hospital, and both victims were wearing seatbelts but not helmets. 22 people have been sentenced for trafficking meth and cocaine from the southwest border to Indianapolis.
And one fugitive still remains at large. I'm John Herrick. 20 of those 22 people lived in Indiana. The Department of Justice says Isais Gonzalez-Torres of Indianapolis was the ringleader of the drug trafficking organization responsible for distributing meth, cocaine, and fentanyl in Indianapolis and other areas of the state. He got a 24-year prison sentence. Other defendants received similar sentences. This was part of what's called Operation Take Back America. The man who's still on the run is Adir Avila of Mexico. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman was killed Monday morning in a crash